all that internet stuff that, you know, the talent doesn't really know about. So, nonetheless, tonight we are going to talk about a bunch of college football information, and we're going to make our NFL, the National Football League, playoff predictions along with our Super Bowl predictions. So it looks like Diamondback forgot to do that, so he's going to do it on the fly. He's wearing his Falcons jersey tonight, so he's just gonna pencil the Falcons in to win the Super Bowl, probably against my team. So that's kind of, I think, the way Diamondback will go. We'll see. He is somewhat of a homer, not as bad as me. I'm a big-time homer, and I'll be the first one to admit it. I'm proud to be a homer. Not a problem at all. Go Bucks, go Steelers, go Blue Jackets. Go Detroit Tigers, and my 3 teams in the NFC Central. So, you know, and tonight Diamondback will have a rant, and of course the iconic Drew will have a rant as well. So we'll do all that kind of stuff. That'll be fun. I think I'm going to leave the camera right there because that looks good right there. So I think Diamondback's going to come over here in a moment. I'm going to need to get up, but we'll see if we can make it through the 3 hours tonight without turning the station back on and going to the bathroom. Your comments are appreciated. I'm a rookie at this. I'm just learning. So anything you guys want to point out to me, I heard some good advice last week from quite a few people on Facebook. So going to work on those things tonight and see if we can do a little bit better this evening. See where things go. You know, this is all in fun, but it's definitely what I want to do. So we'll see what happens here. Like I said, I'm trying to make each show better than the last one. That's kind of the goal. So we'll see what happens here. And Diamondback, is my water still over there?
Yep, your water's still over here.
Okay, everybody. I'm going to get up and walk around now. Don't worry about it. People are tuning in right now going, where is he?
Oh, that's what they joke about at work all the damn time with me. They're like, you can't be live and have an empty chair. Which you're getting ready to have an empty chair. Time to do some IT work.
Yeah. Time to, well, I'll talk to your crowd.
Yeah, you talk to my crowd, I'll talk to yours.
Hey, everybody. You're not even up here.
No,
oh, there you are.
Yeah.
Hey, whoa. Diamondback is going high tech on me here. That's not fair.
I've been high tech over there.
Being all high
Hi,
tech.
Drew's crowd.
And
we're confusing y'all.
Crowd. How you doing tonight?
Let's see here.
In case you wondered what the iconic Drew looks like, now you know. So there you go.
Face for radio, people.
This is why I'm on radio. I mean, look at me. So, no, it's all good. We have fun. This is a blast. You know, someday I'll be on the real radio.
Please work. Okay.
Which would be cool. You know, doing all that stuff. Don't forget to bring up your commercials over there, Diamondback.
Oh, yes, I do need to do that.
Yes, you do. Because I need them.
No, you don't.
Yeah, I do. We can't do the show without your commercials. That's your bumpers. Slacker, showing up late.
Dude, sorry. I would have been dead in the water, man. You would have been like, wake up over there. I would have been. Dude, I worked till 8:45 last night, man. 8:45, and then got up. Well, then we went home. My neighbor's house was on fire.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So we helped out there. We helped our neighbors out a little bit. Took the dogs into our backyard so that the firefighters could go and work. And they did lose two of their dogs, unfortunately. But it was nice to see that the firefighters did try to bring them back to life.
Yeah.
They were sitting over there doing what they could.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, those are the real heroes.
Yes, they are.
These guys we talk about in sports, you know, they're entertainers. Your firefighters, your policemen, your military, those are the real heroes.
Okay. All right. There's that one. Right click. Nope. Manage people. Add. And I want to go.
Can't believe I'm letting them wear a Falcons jersey on this show. Yeah. Leo.
That's all I'm going to say. Sport both of them.
You're going to lose to the Steelers this year. During the season and in the bowl. Nah, I'm just kidding. We'll see where my Super Bowl predictions
Please don't pick my boys to go to the bowl.
I don't like losing.
Come on.
Come on, Mike. Come on. Stop coughing already.
Iconic. You out there practicing or what? Real quick, what do we got for your email address? It's Iconic Drew, right?
Yeah, it's just Iconic Drew at Gmail. And
yeah, just be careful. Yeah.
K, capital K, and ERRY. ROCKS MY.
I'm good. Jesus Christ.
Now everybody knows my password.
Yeah, everybody does, huh? Just hit rewind, listen very carefully. You shouldn't be able to know.
Hey everybody in Facebook world. We're going to start in a couple minutes because Diamondback decided he needed a nap. Something about working really hard and working late last night and a fire next door and getting up at 3 in the morning to help people's dogs and, I don't know, all kinds of crazy, everybody's got excuses.
So just put it this way, my alarm clock went off at 5:15 this morning and I threw it was my phone that went off and I threw it across the room.
Did you now? It's not nice.
Yeah.
It's not your phone's fault.
it was what went off to wake me up.
Because he wanted to see time fly, everybody. Yes, that's an old joke for you. I don't care.
I was like, no.
It's pretty bad when the talent's here first. That's all I'm going to say.
I know. I'm not normally like this. Hopefully next week I'm back to somewhat normal.
Yeah. We're starting late, everybody. It's okay. Just stay tuned. It's almost time for the Iconic Drew and Diamondback Sports Opinion Show, and we don't need language tonight. The heck is wrong with you? My phone number? Yeah. 345-8187. 8187. Just call us.
WTMH.
Hello?
Who do I have?
Hello?
It's WTMHradio.com. How can I help you?
Yeah, I want to talk to my brother Andy.
To Andy? Yeah, okay. He's right here.
Hey, what's up?
Andy,
Yeah.
I'm trying to get your podcast. Did you send me the right link?
I haven't got it up yet, so just give me a second, all right?
Okay, would it naturally go to something called Dre?
Decline that. Or just naturally go to what?
Dre?
Dre.
It's Drew.
Yeah, and it shows this dude giving a little kid a haircut. I don't know.
Give me a
I'll
second.
go off of that in a second. Should go back to here.
Where's your
Whoa.
Any news yet?
No news yet.
Where's your messages?
I'm waiting for the white cloud to come out.
You're supposed to get a message, text message with a 6-digit code. I need to verify it.
Whether there's a new pope in town or what.
Wait. Yeah, we're going to announce tonight it's me. I'm kidding. I don't even know who I'm talking to. Hang on a second here. We're
Having some technical difficulties, man.
should pop up in just a minute.
I think he was just sleeping. Oh.
Where's that? Come on. Come on, was it not sending me the message?
Yeah, I know. Let's go back.
All right, call us back when we get started. Talk to you later. I don't know who the hell that was.
No. Oh, you know what? I did that, so we need to hit submit. It was called.
No, dude.
No, I was just keeping it up. Come on, come on. Oh, well, I'm waiting. Let me know when it pops up there.
That's what she said. Actually, she doesn't have to ask. You can tell.
Come on. Oh, I'm on the wrong one. I love that I did this. LMS dot, and mine's the top one.
Hell. Where's the freaking message?
Pause. And move you here. Right click. Open tab. Pause. Back. And that. And go here. Pause. 1, 2, and 3. Make sure you watch for one of them because I've done something neat, and I think Todd will like it when he actually looks at it. All right, back.
I'm not getting the message.
Shit. I tell you what, let's do a call. Get your phone ready. Confirm.
Hey, this your homeboy Revenue, and when I'm in Columbus, I'm listening to the #1 radio station on the
Go ahead
web,
and pause that.
WTMHradio.com. We're gonna do this one for the fam.
Steve B. Don't tell me it was Steve that called earlier here.
God, I can't get it all to pause here.
Come on, I need the verification code. Damn it. All right. Minimize. We gotta go. So, I'll pull that.
Steve B, that's my brother. I don't know why he's calling me right now. Hang on a second, I got a text right here.
There we go.
And this is the verification code. So go back there.
What is it?
580
580
801. Let's let that call go.
801.
Yeah, and hit submit.
Congratulations. Continue.
Let's let that go. Don't give up.
And we'll go events. Oh, it takes 24 hours. God bless it.
Well, we won't have it tonight then. We'll have it next week. At least you got something. At least we got something going.
All right. All right, I'm back. I'm sorry, guys. Just
All
bear
right,
with
everybody.
me. We are having some serious
We are
problems.
we're gonna start
showed
right
up
now,
tonight,
everybody. So welcome to the iconic Drew and Diamondback Sports Opinion Show. We're gonna get started right now with, of course, some sweet emotion because that's what we start every show with, unless I decide to play something else, you know. But
He's the talent. He gets to do what he wants.
here we go.
Once again, please go to LMS.DiamondBack on YouTube and look at my live stream there. I do need some opinions on that. Please, people, I do appreciate you watching. We are actually live now. Looks like I have one viewer on.
Oh, I'm going to start
there.
broadcast over here too.
I'm actually running a little bit behind today. It's just been hectic with work and everything else like that. So we got Sweet E running right now. So from Aerosmith. So we're actually going to be doing. Yes, it's not on WTMH Radio's YouTube. I don't know. Did you actually start
Yeah, I
that
just
one?
started broadcasting.
It just first started broadcasting, Killer. So,
is WTMH up this week?
They were working on the website.
Well, I know that David kind of music. I don't know if they can hear me.
Yeah, we can hear you there, guy. We
can hear
got
you.
somebody on the phone right off the bat before the night show. It looks like.
Hang on 1 second, caller. Who do we have on the phone?
This your brother.
It's my brother. Hey, Steve, what's happening?
Not much. How you doing?
I'm doing good, bro. Doing good, man. Thanks for calling in. So yeah,
I was
tonight.
trying to bring up the podcast on my phone and I was having trouble, so I figured I'd call in and say, hey, what's going on?
Not a whole lot. We will be talking about playoff predictions later tonight.
So we have WTMA.
The National Football League playoff predictions. So how far do you think I got your Packers going?
There.
I
You said
would
mine's
say,
going. So all right, or that one's going. Perfect.
Man,
Ooh, Lewis is jumping in.
I'm not liking getting rid of Jordy.
Yeah.
And I don't get any news about him around here, so.
Yeah, other than like if you got the internet or ESPN and stuff. But yeah, I kind of like the Packers. It's a tough division though. That is one tough division right there. So, but I like your Packers. They look good this year so far. We'll see what
I don't think
happens.
Cousins is that much of an upgrade for Minnesota.
No, I don't think so either. I think he's I personally don't. I think I picked. We did our picks last week, a couple weeks ago at the NFC, and I did pick Green Bay to win your division.
Yeah.
So, but I like the Packers. I always have, other
But you
than
guys are smart then.
when you remind me of the Super Bowl that happened a few years back.
Yeah, and there's a dude at work that he started talking stuff too, and I was like, well, you know what? I don't remember if you remember a few years back, but yeah, that happened.
Right, it sure did. It was it's a classic matchup. I mean, you got two of the most iconic teams in the NFL facing each other, and it's a good matchup. So, we'll see what happens. Like I said, we're going to do our predictions later, so you'll want to. I know you got to get up early for work and everything, but I want to tune into as much of that as you can. And I need to look like a professional and put my cans on. What the heck am I thinking? So, I mean, I got my brother on the line, and here I am not being professional. So
here we are.
But anyway, so Steve, how?
For sports radio, you can be kind of not professional and professional at the same time.
That is true,
Yeah.
and that works for me.
Think about it.
Yeah, no doubt. Well, listen to.
Well, look at the Columbus radio station that does sports.
Yeah. Yeah, and I love their opener. I almost wanted to steal that, and you can't. It's not professional to do so. But when he said something like two guys who know a little bit about sports, who mildly follow sports, or something
That's
that
kind
effect.
of like an accurate description of us, though.
Yeah, it kind of is. Well, especially you, Diamondback. But anyway, no, I'm just kidding. I mean, you're a Falcons fan. This is Diamondback. I don't know if you've met him or not. I've known him for over 20 years. His real name is Jim.
I've met Jim.
Okay, yeah. So, yeah, Diamondback, and he's helped me out with the show. Of course, I graduated from the Ohio Media School not too long back, and so Jim's helped me, or Diamondback's helped me out with the show. And from this point forward, it'll be referred to as Diamondback, of course.
Oh my God, really?
So,
Nice.
I no longer have a first name.
right, you no longer have a first name.
Oh,
Did you ever
So,
live in Hawaii?
has he ever lived in Hawaii? No.
Okay, well,
You have.
not a name, but I'll go with it.
Did you see the storm heading towards Hawaii? Speaking of Hawaii,
Yeah, the last hurricane that hit there, I was there in 1992 when I was in the Navy, and we hightailed it. I'm going to say heck.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what I'm supposed to say.
Well, this is
Yeah, we hightailed it out of there.
yeah. This is internet radio, so technically you can say pretty much whatever you want.
But I'm not really much of a cusser anyway.
No, you're not. And I do try to run a clean show.
He tries.
I try.
I have to give a little bit more effort.
What about Diamondback?
Yeah, he has to give it more of an effort to stay clean. So, because he...
I am... Never mind. I ain't going there. I ain't gonna...
Yeah, he cusses like a sailor. But anyway, so, yeah, I like your Packers, and there's not been any... We're going to get into the Urban Meyer update in here in a little bit. There really hasn't been much news today because they're still meeting. I don't know if they're currently meeting, but they met all day today.
All day today.
And they haven't really announced when they're going to give their recommendation, but we'll get into all that here in a little bit. So
one of the actual media people doing this, he actually chased down a pizza delivery guy just to try to get any information.
Right,
and it created a whole bunch of people running down because they delivered pizza out there a couple times.
So, yeah. So, but yeah, Steve, I think your Packers are going to do well this year. I think our Buckeyes are going to do real well this year. And we'll be getting into the National Hockey League here in a couple weeks as well, talking about the Blue Jackets and making our predictions for the National Hockey League as well. And we might even make some NBA predictions, but everybody does that. So, you know, there's a lot of shows out there talking about the NBA.
Yeah, I think it's a 7 to 10 win year for the Cleveland Browns. So
wow.
Take that one to the bank.
Okay, I was thinking 4 to 5, but in fact I've got them finishing ahead of Baltimore. We made those predictions last week, and I put Pittsburgh first, then Cincinnati, and then Cleveland, and then Baltimore. So I got Baltimore dead last. So I think they're gonna, in a word.
Cincinnati first?
No, I put Pittsburgh first, of course.
Well, of course you did.
Well, I am a homer, and not ashamed to admit it.
You're allowed to be.
Right. I am a big time homer. You know, Steve. I always have been. So, but we do want to thank you for calling in. We need to go ahead and get everything started here. I'm not sure how late
you.
If
I can get back on and see if Trey isn't playing music anymore.
There you go. And not only.
I'll text you if I'm on.
Okay.
Yeah, check us out on LMS.DiamondbAcK, or you can go to WTMH Radio's YouTube as well.
Yeah, the thing is, I can't get my Apple thing working, so I have trouble getting on my Apple ID.
Oh, okay.
It's all screwed up, so.
Gotcha. Well, we're on till.
I'll give it a shot, and I'll listen if I can. If not,
yeah.
You guys have a great show.
All right. Thanks, Steve. I appreciate it, bro.
Thanks, Steve, for calling in, man.
Good to go, bro.
All right. Talk to you later.
You're okay, too.
Diamondback.
I keep thinking dime bag, but that's not right.
No, not dime bag. Diamondback, like the snake.
That's a different guy entirely.
Yes.
Yes, it sure is. Definitely a different guy. All right, Steve. I'll talk to you later, bro. Bye.
Oh, I think I just got a new nickname. Yay, me. All right. All right, so.
I think it's already hung up. That's a lot easier to grab it right there. Thank you. Hey, when we come back, we'll just do the opening. We're just going to go with the show. And if we go past 10, so what? My timing might be a little off tonight because I've got times written down, but don't worry about that.
Yeah, it's going to be...
Let's just talk about topics while we can. And hey, Carrie. That's my bro called in, man. How cool is that? My bro called in. I think he's on my Facebook page too, but he doesn't get on Facebook very much.
Yeah, I should.
Who else is up there? Who's popping in now? Oh, Brittany's back.
Yeah, Killer, you're right. I need to.
Do you want
the Facebook Live down and actually get people over to my thing. Soda checking in from up there in Canada as well.
Do you want Thunderstruck again?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just use that for my.
Okay. Yeah, I might change mine every week.
Are you?
Just for fun.
Well,
No. I mean, there's a couple different songs I'm going to bounce back and forth between. I might even I'm thinking about doing Back in Black tonight.
See, AC/DC's got some great...
Well, the beginning of their songs are just awesome.
Yeah, they're just...
I mean, Aerosmith kind of gets right into the song, usually, you know?
Yeah, this is one of the ones that knows it. Not today. What do you mean, not today?
Hello. Carrie says hello.
Actually, I'm really liking our the LMS. Once again, people, please go to LMS.DiAmOnDbAcK on YouTube. You can actually just do that search.
Yeah.
Please. I'm actually going to stop doing a Facebook Live, and I'm actually going to run through there. I appreciate everybody tuning in through my Facebook. I know I got a lot of viewers. I've got to get a couple things going here. I'm a little, as I said, I'm a little bit behind, and we're just going to go from there. So.
Is that all, Billy? It's never good when you hear this. Is that all? Oh, shit.
This is going to be a lot of fun. I can tell. So.
Fun, Billy. Call anytime.
Oh.
Yeah.
So there's a little upset that you're not on Facebook Live.
All right, everybody. Welcome to the Diamondback, the iconic Drew and Diamondback Sports Opinion Show.
Again.
Hush. The iconic Drew and Diamondback Sports Opinion Show here on the Ferocious Bunny Productions. And we'd like to welcome everybody to the show. Speaking of calling anytime, like it says at the end of that Aerosmith song there, that was Sweet Emotion, which is the single best song ever in the history of music. So, by Aerosmith, the greatest rock and roll band of all time with the greatest song of all time, in my humble opinion. Because, you know, Iconic Drew's full of humble opinions. And so, we've already had one caller. Let's see. My brother called in just a few moments ago, my bro. Let's see if we can top that. Let's see if we can top our record. What's our record, Diamondback?
We got 3 callers.
Three callers was our record.
We need more.
So we're only 2 callers away from tying and 3 from breaking. See, this is easy math. This is easy math right here. Even the Iconic Drew can do this math.
Oh, my God.
I don't need Spencer for this.
God help me.
You know, I don't need Spencer for this math as far as that's concerned. So let's get into talking about stuff. First of all, let me give the number. My bro already knows it. He called in. It is the hashtag Save the Crew phone line, 614-781-0754. That's hashtag Save the Crew, 614-781-0754. You can also find us on WTMHradio.com, sponsored by Unplugged Magazine. And so we are going to get into some topics here now. This is the opening segment of the show, folks. Yeah, we're a little bit behind. Diamondback is back at school, back at work, doing his thing.
Yes.
And he's a little
that,
tired. And a fire overnight everywhere. And I mean, just all dogs being saved. And it's crazy.
It was kind of crazy. We had a busy day yesterday. As I said, I worked late and came home to a nice fire on my neighbor's house, unfortunately for them. But everybody's good. Everybody's safe. Everything of that nature, but my heart goes out to them, and prayers, of course, goes towards them. Anyways, I'd like to also say, since he did mention it, it is the start of school here in the Buckeye country here.
Go Bucks.
Yep, they are starting school, so please, out there in the Columbus Street tomorrow, remember your Columbus City schools are in session. Please drive with care. There's plenty of other schools that has already started, if not starting out as well tomorrow. So please be careful as you drive through those neighborhoods, all right?
Right, absolutely. Definitely be safe out there. Watch out for the buses and for the kiddos, and make sure everybody's safe. Everybody's getting to school. I know my 2 oldest started today, and my youngest started a week ago. So he's already been in school for over a week, so wow. But nonetheless, let's get into the show. Like I said, we've given the phone number. Once again, it's the hashtag Save the Crew phone line, 614-781-0754. And so call in. We've already had one caller tonight. My bro called in, and I want to thank you again, Steve, for calling in. I appreciate that. Steve's a big-time Packer fan. Later on in the show, we are going to get into talking about our NFL playoff predictions and Super Bowl picks. In the next segment after this one, we're going to talk about the Urban Meyer update, and then after that, do some other college football updates, because college football starts next week.
Yes. And
say hello to Nancy for jumping in there. Lewis is my good friend Lewis Drummond's wife. Longtime friends. Lewis was a roommate of mine back in the day, and I mean a long time ago. Actually, that was before I met Diamondback. That's how long ago that was. So that was a long time ago. But let's talk about NASCAR. Let's get into the National Association of Stock Car Auto Racing first and talk about that. So they were at Bristol last Saturday night. I did not watch the race for two reasons. Number one, they didn't give us a race on Father's Day this year. As you heard in my rant a while back, for our loyal listeners, I ranted about the fact that there was no race on Father's Day, so I wasn't going to watch NASCAR. I do like Saturday night races, but I was moving last weekend during Saturday during the day and didn't watch any TV Saturday night. So definitely did not catch this race. I do love night races, so it would have been tempting to watch this one. And Bristol's a great race because usually there's a lot of wrecks. Speaking of wrecks, there was an 8 or 15 car pileup on lap 2 when Kyle Busch drifted up and he hit Ryan Blaney. Now that didn't affect Ryan Blaney all that much because Ryan Blaney ended up winning stage 1. Yes, Ryan Blaney won stage 1. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
I know how much. Fan of the stage racing.
I know how much you love the stages, Diamondback.
No, I hate the stages. You know that. But
so I know how big a fan you are of the stage racing. So therefore, yeah, I got to mention stage racing every week.
Yeah, no, I know. Just
to bug you.
P.O. me.
Right. That's the only reason.
Yeah.
It's the only reason. There's no other reason to mention the stage racing. So that's why I bring it up every week. Stage 2 was won by Joey Logano. So there you go. Joey won stage 2. The winner of the race, and the only one that matters, according to Diamondback, he's wrong, but the only one who matters is going to be Kurt Busch. That's right, Kyle's brother. So
well, at least it wasn't Kyle.
Right, Kyle gets in a wreck on the second lap of the race, takes himself out. He's night's over, and his brother wins the race. So how about that?
It's the only time I actually think I've rooted for that 18 to hit the wall.
Right. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of either Busch brothers, so I would have not enjoyed this race anyway, other than that wreck. On lap 2, the best drivers in the world couldn't get through the second lap at Bristol without causing wrecks. And all because he drifted up and took out Ryan and hit Ryan Blaney, but Ryan Blaney went on, apparently, because he won stage 1, and Diamondback's happy to know who won the stages. So we now we get to talk about hashtag Save the Crew.
Hashtag Save the Crew.
Hashtag Save the Crew. And once again, the hashtag Save the Crew phone line tonight, 614-781-0754. We need 2 more callers to tie our record, 3 to break it. My brother's already called in, so once again, thanks to Steve Bryan for calling in tonight. Appreciate that. The news on the Crew right now. There have been over 300 companies in Central Ohio who have shown support for the Crew to stay in Columbus. From financial support to lending their advertising and doing anything else they can do to keep the business here, to keep the team here. So that's pretty cool. The bottom line is, Diamondback says it every week, and he's right on this, folks. Get your butt in the seat. Go to a game, especially those of you who are die-hard soccer fans. And there are plenty of die-hard soccer fans here in Central Ohio.
There actually is, and that attendance is at the all-time low for them. They are in last place on this attendance.
Well, and part of the reason is people are pissed off.
Yeah, and that's I totally get it, totally understand that. But get your butt in the seat. That's all I can say. I am going to get my butt in the seat. I'm hopefully getting that here soon. The one game that I actually wanted to go to, the Iconic Drew did not answer his phone.
Iconic Drew was moving
so I needed somebody to explain it.
So Iconic Drew was probably moving at that moment. doing what he needs to do.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, anyhow, yeah, get your butt in the seat, go to a game. It is pretty entertaining, and I'm not the biggest soccer fan in the world either. I will admit that, but I got to tell you, live it can be pretty exciting. And for those of you who are diehard soccer fans, definitely get your butts in seats. Go to the game. Send Precourt out here crying because he's not going to have as good a fan base when he moves down to Austin and becomes the Austin Pussycats. That's my new name for the team this week.
I don't like that.
The Austin Pussycats.
I still like the Austin Anals.
I know. I'm trying to, keep her clean here. So
that's pretty clean.
I understand. That's cleaner than the word I came up with the first time.
Which is funnier.
The week that we first started talking about Austin, calling him the Austin assholes, I believe was the word I dropped.
Yeah. It was,
so.
And there goes the cleanness of the radio show today.
No, just one word, just one time. That was it. I'm done. I'm done with that stuff. Okay, so now let's talk about Maryland for a moment. Very unfortunate situation there with that player dying a couple weeks ago here, and what's going on right now is that this is part of an interview with Mr. Huma of the College Athletics Players Association. He was interviewed by Mr. Singh of the NPR. So this was part of that interview. These are just the answers that were given. He said the president of Maryland admitted no negligence and that the coaches did not follow best practices. If there was player abuse, were they looking the other way? And that's pretty much what the investigation at Maryland is going on right now. Were their coaches looking the other way, and if so, what kind of punishment should happen at Maryland? Even with the whole thing that has happened there already, their coaches on and I did find out that their coach is on paid administrative leave at Maryland as well.
Okay, so it is paid. It's paid.
It's a paid administrative leave. I have a feeling he won't be back. I would be surprised if he is.
His is cut and dry. That is a Title IX offense.
Yes.
I mean, that is.
And the players have come out talking about abuse and everything that's been going on. So they, have talked about that, and that situation is really bad, of course. And we're also talking about a program that has not been extremely successful. Not that should be the bottom line. The bottom line is that these players, if they're being verbally abused and physically abused and all that kind of stuff, that's not the way it should be. So, anyway, I don't want to delve too much into that topic, just because, like I said, it's not a pretty topic as far as that goes. Unfortunately, it's still something that's going on in sports and should not be. So, I mean, I agree with you, Diamondback. I think this is something that's pretty cut and dry. This coach should be gone, and we'll see what happens. Now, when we come back from this next break, we are going to, during the break, we're going to talk about we're going to have our NBA bumpers provided by the iconic Drew. We're going to have the Major League Soccer, #SaveTheCrew, bumper brought to us by Diamondback, and some other surprises possibly during the break. Once again, that #SaveTheCrew phone number, 614-781-0754. That's 614-781-0754. Give us a call, and we'll talk about sports with you and have some fun as far as that goes. So when we get back, we are going to provide the Urban Meyer update that we know at this point and get into some other news as far as college football goes at this time. So we'll get into all that here when we get back from this break. Just one moment.
Are we off?
Now it's time for the iconic Drew
Now,
Association.
with my YouTube page, we are never off.
Okay.
We are constantly running with my YouTube page, so they can hear the stuff that's in the background, but they hear us more and more. Anyways, so Killer, real quick, can you tell me?
You done with my pen?
Well, sponsor band. I did not do a sponsor band on his. I need on here. I have not done that one yet. Still working on it. My preview is real small. I wanted my preview big. How do I actually bring the preview up from the bottom here? I'm pointing as if you can see me where I'm pointing, but it's in the lower corner of the thing. It's real small. I wanted it large and in the middle. Can you help me out with that? But I do like this. It actually gives me, I can actually see everything better. Any killer also said that we are faster on my page than we are on WTMH's page. So we're more live.
So next week I should be live too, YouTube wise.
Yes.
Okay. That's cool.
So we're going to have that going for us. We'll be on 3 pages.
Yeah, at one time.
I'm still trying to figure out if I can.
My YouTube will be up next week, everybody. Patience.
Please,
it's all
people,
good. Things are good. We're moving along in the right
Facebook,
direction here.
Please go to LMS.DiAmOnDbAcK on YouTube. Please watch us on there. You can actually type in Soda. I see you're still watching. Killer's over on the YouTube. You can actually talk with him over there. I see I've got somebody else that just chimed in here. Looks like it's Dara. Oh, you don't use YouTube, huh? Look at you. You just won't. Okay. See how it is. But I am going to not be going through my Facebook Live much longer, probably one more week. I'd like to get everybody over onto the YouTube and get the YouTube up. I know use your editor page. Oh, there we go. Nice. Okay. And can I switch? I'm gonna switch. I'm gonna go. Intermission. Oh, no, I didn't. Oh, I thought I had that changed. There we go. Be right back. So I got.
August 22nd, 9 a.m. The iconic Drew.
Oh, I hit the wrong buttons. All right. Stop. Say hi to the Facebook world. Or YouTube world, excuse me.
Yeah, it's your boy Ray Performance Money.
I love it. Are we dead? We're dead air, dude.
No, we're not. You just can't hear it. It's really low. It's you. Hear that?
Oh. Okay, now I hear it.
Yeah.
My sports bumpers, for those of you out there, are on my LMS.DiamondBack YouTube page. If you want to actually take a look at that, you'll actually see I gave some props.
You got a picture of Todd's Barbershop here.
Yeah,
How
do you
cool.
like that?
Yeah.
Nice little touch, isn't it? I put the sponsor within the video. It's just basically going back and forth. Really low volume. Can you hear them? Oh, it's a whole new setup, and I've got to get the volume adjusted on my with my new new computer at home. All right, I think I am ready for that portion of it. We'll talk about urban that. Let's see if I can get any news on ESPN on that.
Welcome back to the iconic Drew with DiamondBack Sports Opinion Show. Call us at 614-781-0754. Listen to us live on WTMHradio.com. Watch us on Facebook.
Yes, everybody, like that smooth voice just told us. Welcome back to the Ferocious Bunny Productions of the iconic Drew and Diamondback Sports Opinion Show. And you can call us at hashtag Save the Crew phone line, 614-781-0754. We've had one caller tonight. We are up on YouTube as well. And also, next week we'll be up on YouTube for my page for the iconic Drew. So you'll be able to enjoy that as well. That'll be next week. We had some technical difficulties, but it'll be ready next week. We're going to now talk about Urban Meyer, the Ohio State update that we know at this point. We don't know a whole lot at this point, But we know a little bit, and we got some other college football news we can talk about since the games start. Well, actually, there's a few games this weekend. Most of them are on cable. There's a few games this weekend, and then there's a whole slew. Yes, I said slew. Whole slew of games the following week. So I'm excited about that. Ohio State gets started. I think Bama plays that weekend. I know Notre Dame plays Meat Chicken that week. We're going to get into some Meat Chicken news here in a minute. For those of you who don't know, and this is your first time viewing the show, the Iconic Jew refers to that team up north as Meat Chicken. That's how much I hate them. Call me.
He doesn't even say the state. Just
Can't
in
say
talking
it.
about the state.
Right. Even if I'm talking about the Detroit Tigers, my favorite baseball team, who happens to play in Meat Chicken State, I will still say Detroit Meat Chicken. So there we go. As far as that goes, what do you think of that? It's kind of crazy, isn't it, Diamondback?
That is crazy.
Well, you know, it is what it is. We hate each other. I hate them. So anyhow, this morning at 9 a.m., the Board of Trustees met at Ohio State this morning. No recommendations out of it yet. What's going to happen is they're going to give a recommendation on what they think should happen to Urban Meyer. And then President Drake, yes, I know the name of the president of the Ohio State University, President Drake is going to make his decision, and it'll be his decision only, as far as how long Urban Meyer is suspended, whether it's time served, suspension, or firing. I don't think the last one's going to happen personally. I do think it's going to be a 2 to 3, 4 game suspension at the most. I don't think it'll be any more than that.
Nope.
So
I have to agree. I'm actually completely on board with that. As I have stated in the past, Title IX has not been broken here. No allegations or any of that is about Title IX. It's about his promptness and his awareness of what actually transpired over the years. That is what he is actually being looked at. Under Title IX, there is no infractions. That's the word I was looking for earlier, infractions. I'm actually looking here at ESPN. They are saying they will not reveal until next week.
So they're not even going to give their recommendation until next week.
No. Urban Meyer's future at Ohio State will not be revealed until next week. So the OSU board and the President Drake, as you said, they have met. They got the recommendations.
Oh, but we don't know what it is.
Drake is going to, we probably won't. We'll probably hear about some of the recommendations through the grapevines, but I'm pretty sure that we're not going to actually have the calling from President Drake until next week, according to what I'm seeing here.
Well, according to reports today, Urban Meyer was spotted going into the building where the Board of Trustees was meeting.
Oh, the Longaberger Buckeye alumni building.
Yes, on campus.
Longaberger.
Right.
That's a basket.
So?
I knew you guys were nuts.
Well, we are nuts for Buckeyes, and proud of it, by the way. So,
a little pun.
Yeah, no doubt. So, I think that, he was spotted going into the building where the trustees met. How much truth is behind that, I don't know. But he was spotted going into this building. So, he might have met with them himself today. We don't know. And he might even already know what the outcome's going to be. He just can't say anything at this point. So it sounds like they might be dragging their feet a little bit here on this. The first game is a week from Saturday, so tick. Come on, let's get this decision out. Decide exactly what's going on, how many games or whatever he's going to miss, because it's time for some football. And it's the best time of year, no doubt about it.
I love the start. I love the start of football. I love that. You guys got a game starting right off the bat. That's going to be a little rough. That's kind of new for you guys. You guys should win that one. But
what, Oregon State?
No, is that who you don't look it up against Oregon State, is it?
Yes, first game's against Oregon State.
It's the third game. I'm sorry.
Yeah. So Ohio State, we're not going to open up against the juggernaut off the bat. Come on.
Yeah,
you know
Ohio
better
State,
than that.
Yeah.
Come on now.
We got to stay ranked towards the top.
Yeah, and speaking of rankings, we're going to get into that here in a little bit too.
Okay.
So, But yeah, I think it's, like I said, they're dragging their feet a little bit. We'll find out what happens with the recommendations when President Drake makes his decision as far as how many games he's going to get, which I think it's going to come down to that, between 2 to 4 games. That's my opinion. And I think that's the way it's going to go. I don't think they're just going to do time served. I don't think he's going to be fired. I think it's going to be that one right there in the middle that's about the 2 to 4 game time period. That's kind of where I see this falling.
Yeah, I kind of agree. Because I really don't, I don't see him losing his job over this.
Right.
As I state, they can't really ask somebody. I mean, really, if you're a supervisor, would you want to have to run your family's of all your workers their home life? No, you're not going to want to do that, and we shouldn't be asking our coaches to do that.
Right.
It's their families, for crying out loud. I know it won't. Once a law has been broken, though, that's where it's at.
Yeah. Of course.
Okay, you've been arrested for this. Until we find out exactly what's going on, we have to let you go and all that. I do, however, would like to be put on paid administrative leave myself.
Yes.
But
I asked my boss about it the other day, and he said no. He said we cannot. And in fact, this is how John is, my boss. I'll call him out right now. John does this. He goes, let me think about that for a second. No. And that's pretty much how he answers questions when we say things like that. And we do things like this to him at work just to keep him on his toes. So every once in a while we'll just be like, so can I leave now? No. We'll be like, I've collected over $1,000. Can I go home? No. So, but enough about True Green tonight, unless we get them as a sponsor.
Free plug.
But, yeah, free plug on that. So, unless we get them as a sponsor someday.
Hint, hint, boss.
Right. I don't know if he's out there listening or not. He does have one of my business cards, though, so he might be listening. Who knows? John is not a huge sports fan, but he is a big Buckeye fan, graduated from there. So we have been talking about this situation for the last week or so here, when this happened and everything. So he does know about that, of course, and so he has given his opinions on all that to me, and he feels about the same way I just said, about 2 to 4 games that he'll be out. I kind of think that's the way it's going to come down, personally. But only time will tell. We're going to talk about Urban Meyer every week until we have some final decision
over something, like this. I mean, this just not good.
Right.
And I'm speaking as an Alabama fan.
Right.
I being right here in the heart of Buckeye country, I'm listening to the actual news. Now, I know that a lot of people will admit it, that if she was on another foot and it was Alabama, they'd probably be, they better fire him. And I'm sure down in Tuscaloosa, they're doing the same thing, that they better fire him.
Mm-hmm.
And that comes from respect. I really do. I do believe it's respect. They go, okay, we can't, this guy's good. We gotta try to get rid of him somehow.
Right. Well, he is one of the top 2 coaches in the country. Sorry, Dabo Sweeney from Clemson. But he is they are the 2 top coaches. I mean, no doubt about it. And now let's talk about Ohio State's main rival. Let's talk about Meat Chicken for just a moment. Meat Chicken, Jim Harbaugh came out this week and decided to make it official and name Shea Patterson, transfer from Ole Miss, a team from the SEC, as a starting quarterback for their opener at Notre Dame on September 1st. Boy, that's going to be a good game. Meat Chicken at Notre Dame to start the season on September 1st, primetime game. Oh my, I think it's like a 7 o'clock kickoff. I'm already hyped about this game. Ohio State plays earlier in the day, so we get to watch them walk all over Oregon State, one of the other OSUs, and then get to watch Notre Dame beat Meat Chicken that evening. That's going to be awesome. I cannot wait. I just gave away who I'm rooting for in that game, but I think everybody already knew. So, go Irish. That's all I'm going to say about that. Notre Dame is my second favorite team, and Alabama is my third favorite team, thanks to you, Diamondback. So, yeah, they named Shea Patterson as their starting quarterback. Are you surprised by that at all?
No, actually, no. I think I'll be a homer here. Pulling a quarterback out of the SEC is wise for all the other conferences to do.
Even if it's Ole Miss?
Even if it's Ole Miss. I mean,
yeah, come on.
hey, they do have their good teams. They are not a tier 1 team. And they probably will never be a tier 1 team, in my opinion. But they are there. Unfortunately, the SEC West is full of tier 2 teams, and I really trying to think of them right off the top of my head. And of course, with the week that I'm having, I can't. So
that's no excuse. We must be professional. So anyway, I think too that's enough SEC news for tonight. So, although we'll get into more on SEC news later, apparently, unfortunately. So that's the news from Meat Chicken. That's the update for Meat Chicken this week. They've named their starting quarterback. No one's really surprised. It is Shea Patterson. Now some interesting news out of West Virginia this week. They had to cancel their fan day. Their fan day is scheduled for this coming Sunday. Did you hear why they had to cancel this?
Why is that?
They had to cancel this because they have 5 players who got hand, foot, and mouth disease. Now, no makeup date has been announced for Fan Day yet, which was this coming Sunday. So, a big day there at West Virginia, and now it's not going to happen because of hand, foot, and mouth disease. 5 players have contracted this on the team. So, apparently they wanted to protect their fans from getting it too. No word on their practices. I didn't hear anything on whether they're still practicing and just quarantining these 5 guys or what they did. But West Virginia, as they get ready to start their season, and we're getting into rankings here in a little bit, but they are starting with, they have 5 players that aren't playing. Now, I don't even know what 5 players got it. I understand it was not their quarterback, Greer. Will Greer seems to be okay, apparently. So, good for him. He's a good quarterback. That kid's got NFL written all over him. So, I think that, that's an interesting situation for West Virginia to be going through. They have this is normally a disease that infects kids. In fact, kids get a lot of daycares and things like that, from what I've heard. So instead, in this particular case, there are 5 players between the age of 18 to 22 who have contracted hand, foot, mouth disease. Very serious condition going on down there in West Virginia. Hopefully, they'll all be okay and get through that. Definitely, our prayers, of course, go up to them. But man, that's a pretty serious thing to happen, especially right before the season. So
no, that's it's a shame. I'm not really knowledgeable on that there, but that is a shame that they have to go through that even this late in their life. I know they're still kids, but. Hey, nobody should have to go through painful, diseases like that.
Right, and so when we come back, and once again, folks, our phone number, hashtag Save the Crew phone line, 614-781-0754. That's once again, hashtag Save the Crew phone line, 614-781-0754 for those of you keeping track at home. We've had one caller, which was my brother, Steve. He called in earlier. We talked about the Packers a little bit. We are, later on, going to get into our pro football playoff picks, our Super Bowl picks. Also, we will have a rant. Diamondback will have a rant, and the Iconic Drew will have a rant as well. So those are always interesting and fun. We're going to do some commercials now. During this one, we will have the Canadian Football League update brought to us by Diamondback. And maybe a couple other commercials. Who knows? Who knows what Iconic Drew is going to throw at you at this point. We'll see what happens. We're going to start this off with what I think is one of the best commercials I made when I was at the Ohio Media School. Give them a plug. We're going to play a commercial for them later on, too. But when we get back from this break, I'm sure Diamondback knows this, so I'm going to throw it at him right now so he's got time to prepare during this break. We're going to go over the AP Top 25 for college football.
Sweet.
We are also going to pick our 4 teams that will make the college football playoffs. And we will list what Kirk Herbstreit picked as his 4 for the college football playoffs. Always respect his opinion. He's a great analyst and less of a homer than me. So We will respect his, or get his opinion on those two and give ours and take things from there. We'll go over the top 25. I'm going to do this David Letterman style, 25-1. That's the way David Letterman would have done it, so that's why I'm going to do it. Anyway, here comes a commercial. This is Cosmic Subs.
So you tired of the same old for subs? Come try Cosmic Subs. Cosmic Subs has all kinds of delicious subs made on whatever type.
Hey, can I have my pen back?
We've got Italian.
Yeah, I'm done with
cheese,
About freaking
Of
time.
course, the famous BLT. Well, numerous other options. Too many to name here. This is the iconic.
Too many to name here.
If I want a sub, I go to Cosmic Sub. Why? You gotta ask.
Yes, you have been.
It's simple. It's the best subs in town. Cosmic Subs is a special deal plan. From today through the weekend.
Where are we at here? Okay.
Price, second half price.
It's
Well, wait, things.
really faint.
Yeah, came across those. Yeah.
Yeah,
okay.
I gotta figure that out.
And now I need to set up Todd's commercial here. There it is.
So you like how I flip back and forth between the,
Yeah.
and hopefully I'll be adding sponsors to that.
No doubt. Eek? They eked?
Eek. I
They
said
eked.
eek.
He dropped eked on us.
Eek.
Eked out a victory. Eked, I like it.
24 to 23.
Anytime you can use the word eked in sports, I'm all about that, man.
That's past tense, even.
No, eked. Which, so that means presidents will be eek?
Yeah.
This is not an English class, thank God.
Well, yeah, especially with me teaching it, because I use the word learnt.
How do you work for the Columbus Public Schools? That's what I want to
I'm
know. I'm a
IT.
little scared for
I'm
our...
IT. But hey, I can't do it. I'm live on here. I gotta watch what I say. Oh my gosh, it's been a crazy week. Saskatchewan.
Saskatchewan.
I actually like saying it now, Killer. Saskatchewan.
Hey, Killer, where you at, man?
He is actually on my
Is he calling
YouTube
in tonight?
Live. He's
What's he doing?
I've got 2 viewers on my YouTube Live. Who is my second viewer on YouTube there? I'm still learning this, Killer, so don't yell at me too bad.
Still, yeah.
Oh, I'm probably
20
the
seconds.
second viewer, knowing me,
10 seconds.
because I brought it up so that I could do that. Enjoy.
Get a haircut.
Get a real job.
Are you getting shaggy? You go home visit your mom.
What'd she say? New girl.
Well, this is the iconic.
Drew.
Every time I need a haircut, I go
But,
to Todd.
Drew, what I will do is I will actually...
Make it quick. We're almost back.
Sometimes even topics from the
Tell me later the next break.
characters.
What's that?
Tell me the next break.
Todd's been cutting hair for over 18 years, and he's very personal. He will give us a
He will.
more than anything else.
He will give us a
If you want
opinion.
to get a great haircut at an open
Yes, in their
barber
shop.
go see Todd the Barber
Over at Todd's Barber Shop.
Located at 3867 Latimer Street, Hilliard, Ohio, in the heart of downtown Hilliard, near Columbus, Ohio. Hours are Tuesday, 2 p.m. to 6 p.m., Wednesday, 9 a.m. to 4 p.m., Thursday, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m., Friday, 9 a.m. to 4 p.m.
That's what a
and
pro looks
Saturday,
like, folks,
7 a.m.
right
to
here.
8 p.m. Closed on Sunday and Monday because
Todd?
is
His family man
So if you need a haircut, do what the iconic
like Drew would do
Go see Todd.
at Todd's Barber Shop. Yes, everybody. Welcome back to the iconic Drew and Diamondback Sports Opinion Show here at Ferocious Money Productions. Once again, the hashtag Save the Crew phone line, 614-781-0754.
That's 614-781-0754.
Right. And that is the number to call us. We've had one caller already. Thank you, Steve Bryan, for calling in, my bro.
Yep. We do appreciate the calls and everything like that. So let's Let's get a couple calls in here.
And here's the funny part. I don't know if Steve's still listening or not, and I haven't seen Todd yet, by the way, either, our sponsor at this point. You just heard his commercial there. That was a professionally done commercial for Todd for sponsoring our show here. So
Professionally done?
Professionally done.
You're a professional then?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Well, I got the degree, so I'm a professional.
Oh, well.
Thank you.
So you might have the degree. I don't know if you're a professional yet or not.
Anyways, I might have to get myself a new co-host. So
I've just been fired, folks.
no, I'm just kidding. You're not fired, Diamondback. I've known you too long. So I can't get rid of you now. We've been through too much. Can't get rid of you now. Once again, that is hashtag Save the Crew phone line. All seriousness, 614-781-0754.
That's 614-781-0754. Hashtag Save the Crew.
Let's go over the top 25 teams according to the AP, the Associated Press, for college football here for the season. See where these teams end up at the end of the year, where they're starting now, and see how many Big Ten teams are in, how many SEC teams are in. Talk about each of the conferences a little bit. Break this down a little bit. See who's going to come out of this. We're going to do our Final Four as well, and we'll give you Kirk Herbstreit's Final Four. I did not get permission from Mr. Herbstreit.
You did not get.
But it was on ESPN.
But yeah, well,
it's public domain.
Yeah, public domain.
So I feel pretty confident.
We're giving you props that it's his picks.
Right. I feel pretty confident.
Ours, his.
I feel pretty confident that we are allowed to do this.
Yeah.
To give his picks.
Yeah, as long as we.
Now, he put them out publicly.
Yeah.
You know, it's not like he's hiding them or anything, or I had to secretly find them.
I mean, I kind of know the part of the reason why you're taking Kirk Herbstreit's picks, but what is the reason that you're doing this? Is it because he was a former OSU?
No.
I'm sorry, the Ohio State quarterback.
No, not at all. I happen to like Kirk Herbstreit.
Oh, okay. So it's out of admiration for
I happen to respect his opinion.
I thought it was been a little bit of a homer. Folks.
Todd is in. Todd is here. Todd the Barber has just popped out to my Facebook page. So welcome, Todd. You just missed your commercial. We'll play it again later. You know, I play it 2 or 3 times a night, so you'll get to hear it here the next time if you hang around.
Yes.
We are running a little bit behind tonight, everybody, but that's okay. If we go past 10, there's not a show here at WTMHradio.com after us.
And that is sponsored by?
The Unplugged Magazine.
Unplugged Magazine, that's right.
There you go. And we are on hashtag Save the Crew phone line, 614-781-0754. As I just said, we've had one caller tonight. My bro called in. So see if we get some more calls. Right now, we are looking at the Associated Press Top 25. We're going to start with number 25.
Killer's chiming in here. He's actually asking, who cares about college football?
Well, you know what, Killer?
He's Canadian.
He is Canadian.
We're going to give him that much.
First of all, before I go to the top 25, I'm going to get to it right now. Number 25 is LSU, by the way, so we're going to start it with that. And then we'll move from there to number 24. Killer, Killer, I am so glad that you're a regular listener of this show, but I got to tell you right now, buddy, who cares about college football? Pay attention on Saturdays here in the United States of America. When we get 110,000 people into a stadium to watch a football game, that's more than the NFL gets in their games.
He also told me just a little while, easy for me to say.
Not apparently.
A little while ago, probably about last season, he sat there and said he was an Auburn fan.
Yeah.
I basically think he chose Auburn.
Well, of course, to bug you. So anyway, moving on. Just watch games on Saturday afternoon, Killer, and you'll see the stadium's filled. 110,000 people on average, 75 average for a pro football game. You do the math. Which sport's more popular, college football or pro football?
Yeah,
college.
It's so much better
big
because
time.
you got these kids. I know that the Canadian football colleges up there are not. It's not as spectacular. But
number 24.
24, yes.
I'm going to get us back on track here.
No, I got
Number 25 was LSU. Number 24, the Oregon Ducks.
The Ducks.
Number 23, Texas. Number 22, Boise State. Number 21, last year's national champions, UCF. Number 20, VT, I'm sorry, Virginia Tech. Number 19, Florida State. Number 18, Mississippi State. Number 17, West Virginia, the school we just talked about in the last segment. Number 16, the TCU Horned Frogs. I love that nickname. the Texas Christian University Horned Frogs.
Horned Frogs.
I'm not going to like them in about.
Horny Toads.
I'm not going to like them in about 3 weeks. Number 15, USC. Number 14, Meat Chicken. Number 13, Stanford. Number 12, the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. Number 11, Michigan State. Number 10, Penn State. Number 9, Auburn. Fly, Eagle, fly.
Say 3. Don't say that.
Number 8.
You cannot say that and your third favorite team be Alabama. You cannot do that.
I can do that to bug
No,
you.
you cannot.
I can do that to
do
bug
that.
you. And that's the only reason I did it, was to bug you. Diamondback, and it worked. Number 8, Miami of Florida. Were you thinking Ohio? Number 7, Oklahoma. Number 6, the Washington Huskies. Number 5, the Ohio State University Buckeyes. Number 4, Wisconsin.
With 1 vote for first place.
Number 4, Wisconsin. Number 3, Georgia. Number 2, best coaching. No, I won't say it. Clemson. Number 1.
Which
And number 1.
Hold on.
We'll let
18
Diamondback
votes
say
for
this. Number 1.
Alabama Crimson Tide. Yes, roll Tide.
Roll Tide. So go Bucks, roll Tide, go Irish. So okay, I covered them all there.
Ooh, yeah.
So before you give your top 4 for the playoff picks, let's look at what Herbie did this year. Who did Herbie put in his top 4? Well, I got it right here, so I'll tell you. His final 4 contains Alabama, Clemson, Washington, the Huskies, out of the Pac-12, and out of the Big Ten, Penn State, the Nittany Lions he's got in there.
That's number 4.
State, that's his 4th team. Well, that's his 4 teams.
Now,
Penn State, Bama, Clemson, Washington. They weren't in any particular
So,
order.
being a former Ohio State quarterback,
Yes,
he did not pick Ohio State,
right. Because he's not a homer like the iconic Drew.
which I'm sure you picked Ohio State.
We don't know yet until we get to my picks. I might not have picked the Ohio State University. I might have picked
All right.
Iowa.
Now, that was the AP poll.
That was the AP poll, yes, sir.
And
Diamondback.
first place votes
Once
were-
again, folks, before he gives the other one, hashtag Save the Crew phone line 614-781-0754.
That's
Talking college
614-781-0754.
right now, talking college football and giving the top 25 AP teams along with our picks and Herbie's picks for the top 4. I think I'm allowed to call him Herbie. The top 4 playoff picks. Diamondback? We already know you got Bama. Who you got? Your other 3?
Yep, Bama, of course, is going to be number 1 right now, as it stands right now. Just out of being the defending champions. That's right, the defending champions.
UCF.
No, they are not. They did not play in this,
They went
even though they
undefeated.
beat 2 of the teams that had a chance for the SEC title. They beat both of them. So, anyways, I am going to bring Clemson in.
Oh. Yeah.
And then I am going to bring in Wisconsin.
Oh, ouch.
And
I got a bad feeling here. I think Diamondback is going off the rails, folks.
really think I'm going to.
Wisconsin.
Then I am going to select,
Wisconsin.
yes, Wisconsin at number 3.
Go Badgers.
So if this was the end, I would have two teams from the same conference. This time, the Big Ten.
No
the
way.
Ohio State.
No way. You're going to put Wisconsin and Ohio State in.
Yeah, that if it was
And not Penn State.
before they play a single game. That's why I got it.
Right. I understand. Obviously, there's some big games coming up for all these teams.
I like
So,
both. I like both
the-
Wisconsin and Ohio State right now, just on paper. And of course, as we've said, and other analysts have said, games are not played on paper.
They're played inside television sets, which are getting bigger and bigger and bigger all the
Might
time.
as well just stay home and watch the game.
Well, we're not going to go that far. You put your butts in the seats. Hashtag Save the Crew.
Hashtag
Phone line
Save the
614-781-0754. Before we get to my picks, I've got to mention this because I was thinking about this the other day.
'Cause I'm home.
Best traditions in college football. First of all, the Ohio State band coming in. There hardly anything tops that. But the way
$1
the
million band.
Clemson players go onto the field, If you guys have not seen this, it's worth watching the beginning of a Clemson football game, even if you don't watch the rest of the game, just to see how they go on the field. It is amazing, Diamondback. I'm sure you've seen this.
It's the ones where they're coming off the field, off the hill.
Yeah,
correct?
they get off the bus, they get out of the locker room, and they get on the buses.
Correct.
And they go around the street up to the top of the stadium. They get off the buses and they run down into the stadium down this hill as a team. This is just phenomenal.
Yeah.
I mean, it's hard to top this. It's
really
unbelievable. You guys have got to see. If you've not seen this, don't call yourself a freaking college football fan until you see this. It is amazing. In fact, just YouTube it later after this show, not now. YouTube it later and watch this. Don't even watch a Clemson game. To heck with them. But watch this later on, and you're going to be just amazed. It is incredible. Now, my top 4 picks. And me and Diamondback do disagree a little bit, and that's okay. That's good.
No, that's what we want.
Alabama, I have them in.
Number 1.
Number 2, the aforementioned Clemson Tigers, who do this great entrance onto their field. You got to check that out, everybody. Number 3, I'm going to agree with Kirk Herbstreit,
Okay.
and I'm going to put the Washington Huskies in out of the Pac-12. Now, if I was a real homer, I would have put the Oregon Ducks in, but Oregon is starting the season at number 24. That's a heck of a leap, and I don't think they're quite ready to make that kind of leap yet.
Yeah, we got to see what.
I mean, it's nice that they're at least ranked and they have a shot this year. So,
Gotta love the Ducks.
Gotta love the Ducks.
Gotta love the Ducks.
Talk about teams that have tradition of different uniforms. And they've got like 10 of them.
No, they got more than that.
Yeah, it's amazing.
They got more than that.
It's amazing.
I got to look it up, but they have more than that.
So,
anyways, so you're number 4.
My number 4, the Ohio State University. Of course, go Bucks. Well, it's okay. You put your team in too.
Well,
so, I don't care that they're number 1 and that they are defending national champs.
Defending national champions.
Besides
Crimson Tide.
Besides UCF, the real national champs. So, and they will always stay the real national champs as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
So anyway, those are our picks. To summarize that, Diamondbacks got Alabama, Clemson, Wisconsin, and Ohio State. Kirk Herbstreit has Penn State, Bama, Clemson, and Washington. I, the iconic Drew, have Alabama, Clemson, Ohio State, and Washington. Not in any particular order, but those will be the 4 teams according to me.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens throughout the year. I do think I don't think it's going out on a limb to say I don't think Ohio State's going to go undefeated. I'll say that right now. We got to play.
You got a tough schedule.
We got to play at Penn State. We got to play at Michigan State. We got meat chicken at home.
That's a good one because I think they are ready for you guys this year.
I think they're better. I think they're improved from last year.
Yeah, and that's what.
And their defense was good anyway.
As a fan of football, that's what you want to see out of these top colleges. Unfortunately, Michigan, for you, Michigan is a Tier 1 team. They are, and they will be a Tier 1 team.
Based on what? Reputation?
Reputation.
I mean, they haven't beat us in how long?
They haven't beat you in how long?
They haven't beat Ohio State in like
Can
forever.
I bring up the 90s?
No. Not still be my
Columbus,
co-host.
Ohio. You cannot bring up the 90s in Columbus, Ohio, by the way. # John Cooper. Anyways.
Right. Thank you, John. Thank you, Coach Cooper, who could recruit like no one, but couldn't beat his rival.
It was just
Could
amazing.
never beat his
had
rival.
The talent.
Oh yeah, they had NFL talent.
He as soon as he seen that M, it was like kryptonite to him.
Yes.
He could not do anything against it. What, he beat him once?
Yeah.
Once.
Yeah,
and
once.
And I think.
Meanwhile, here's the flip side of that whole thing. My son Spencer came to me last year before the season started, and he's 13 right now. He's 12 then,
yeah.
And he came to me and he said, "Dad, I don't have memory of meat chicken," because he calls them that too.
Oh,
of meat chicken beating Ohio State. And I said, "Wow. We play up there this year, so we'll see what happens." And that was, of course, last season. We went up there and beat them, thanks to great quarterback play. But Ohio State won that game, and of course, defeating meat chicken one more time, as far as that's concerned. So it's great. But to be 13 years old, and be a fan of a particular team, and not have a memory of your rival beating you, it's pretty amazing.
Has it been that long?
Yes. Well, I think Meat Chicken won the game when Spencer was 1 or 2, 3 years old, but he doesn't remember that.
But
so in all fairness,
yeah.
In all fairness, we're talking about 9 years of time that he's been watching football, 8, 9 years, that he does not remember.
He does not have that memory.
Meat Chicken beating Ohio State. Believe me, there are times I wish I didn't have that memory. But it was painful. The Cooper years were painful. Yes. But, and of course, all I got to say to you is, how about that game where Auburn, fly, Eagle, fly, decided to return a field goal attempt for a touchdown?
You know what? I will never doubt Saban and his decisions.
Of course not. You shouldn't. He's one of the best coaches in the country.
And actually, a lot of people sit there and go, who in the heck puts a rookie quarterback in halfway through a game? You know what? I think he took a page out of Urban Meyer there. But Urban had no choice. Who was your guy that won you the national title for the first college playoff? What was your quarterback's name?
Cardell?
Thank you. He.
We're down to our third quarterback at that point.
Yeah, you had no choice. You had no choice but to put him in, and that was there.
And once
again, think I really do. I think he was like, you know what, Ohio State beat me with a rookie quarterback. You know what, I'm going to try it myself, and it worked.
Yeah, it absolutely worked. I mean, that's the thing.
You cannot fault a guy for doing that. And he is like Woody Hayes. He is like Paul Bear Bryant. He's like those great coaches out there in time. Vince Lombardi. Go for the win. Screw the tie.
Right.
Go for the win.
Right.
And that's what he did. So, yeah, he had a bunch of fat guys out on the field, and they stuck a skinny dude that could run like him. And that's exactly what happened.
And that's a moment that is always that Alabama fans will never forget, and Auburn fans will always bring up.
They will always bring it up, and it's perfectly fine. That is great memory or a great history play of college football, and it will constantly be played. That kick six will always rub Alabama fans the wrong way, and it will, and Auburn fans will absolutely love it.
Right, of course. And one of my best memories is being in the shoe the year that Ohio State was number 1 and Meat Chicken was number 2.
Yeah.
And once again, my thanks go out to Mark Regenbogen on that. If you're out there listening, he's a Facebook friend and a friend as well. I some information on the show tonight, but he called me the week of the game, and me and my then wife had already had a party plan and everything was all set up and all that kind of stuff. And I looked at her and went, "Should I go?" And she goes, "Why are you thinking about this? You need to go to this game because this is 1 versus 2, And we sat up in the stands and we sat underneath the big scoreboard, and we sat right next to the Meat Chicken fans, and we yelled at each other back and forth throughout the entire game. And Ohio State won like 46-42 in a shootout, just a phenomenal football game. Forgetting the fact that Ohio State turned around and lost to the Urban Meyer-led Florida Gators for the national title that year. We still beat Meat Chicken as the 1 and 2 teams in the country. And what a great game. And the fact that to be there in that stadium for that game was amazing. Certainly one of my best sports memories of all time. And that is something that, they can never take away as far as all that goes. It was awesome being there watching that game. So, but even though that's a painful memory right there for Alabama fans, you guys have owned Auburn now for quite a few years.
Well, since then, so that's 3 years.
Yeah, and even before that, though, that game,
we lost last year. That's what I really believe. That's what kept Ohio State out.
Yeah,
I really do. If
there's one word that kept Ohio State out, and it's spelled IOWA.
Yeah, and that was a big one. I think also the two losses there. But I do believe that if Alabama would have won that one and beat Georgia in the SEC title, then you would have seen Alabama and Ohio State in instead of Alabama and Georgia in.
Yeah, and that may be a possibility, but I don't think they could put – I even said it last year. We did a special show over at the school right before the Final Four was announced last year. And I said, and I'm a Buckeye fan, and I said Ohio State does not deserve to go to the Final Four this year. If you can't go to Iowa and win, you don't deserve to be in the Final Four. Sorry. I know it was on their at their stadium. It was their crowd, all that kind of thing. It looks like they're playing the Pittsburgh Steelers because of the way those uniforms look. Iowa uniforms are pretty awesome. But anyway, if you can't go to Iowa and win, you don't deserve to be in the Final Four. Sorry. I would have been like, we don't deserve this. We're probably going to get smoked in the Final Four like we did the year before by Clemson. We don't deserve to be here. And I know there's probably Buckeye fans out there going, what the heck, kind of Drew, what are you thinking? You know, but I don't think that they deserved to be in the Final Four last year. Would have been surprised had they made it. But now it's time to turn our attention to the National Football League.
Heck yeah.
When we get back from this break, and this break will feature the iconic Drew NFL bumper, because perfect timing as we switch gears from college football to pro football.
Nice segue.
Exactly. That's called planning in the biz. So that's what I did in the biz. So we're going to play that bumper by the iconic Drew and maybe some other surprises during this one as well. But once again, that phone number is #SaveTheCrew 614-781-0754.
That's 614-781-0754.
All right, let's hit it.
Yeah, that's what I just found out, Killer. So, yeah. Last time.
There it is.
Whoa. This was loud. Last time Michigan had won was 2011, by the way, 40-34.
Live looking. Welcome back. Scores of some meaningless games in preseason. Yeah, Steve, that's for you. If you're still listening. I should say chefs.
Did the chefs beat?
The chefs beat your Falcons.
Well, I don't care about preseason. I don't watch preseason.
Preseason's overrated.
You know what? I'd love to see them shorten that down to 2 or 3 games.
Yeah.
And add one
Well, we can
game.
talk about that.
I think that would be a good. But anyways, so Facebook world, I am going to shut down the Facebook Live. It'll probably be halfway through next week's show.
There he goes talking again. I mean, who talks to their phone?
I'm not talking to my phone. I'm talking to
my phone. That's why I said that. Who talks to their phone? And I was doing it.
I'm not talking to my phone. My phone's over here. I'm talking to my phone. Anyways, I am shutting it down. Please start looking at LMS DiAmOnDbAcK on YouTube and start looking at it there. I know, Soda, you don't do that, but hopefully you will break that for me. I mean, come on. I'm an old friend, man. I'm an old friend. Absolutely miss you on PlayStation, dude. Miss the days. Come get some. Get some. Drew's looking at me kind of weird.
He's out of his mind. But we knew that. For the reason Diamondback and I are such friends.
What's that?
So, Diamondback, when we come back from this break right here, we will go over the National Football Conference picks.
Yes.
Including your team that you have going to the Super Bowl out of the NFC. So make sure you have that ready.
NFC.
Right, and you'll have the matchups for every week, or for the wild card, divisional, NFC championships. Yeah, and then your Super Bowl team out of the NFC.
Yep.
So
we're
all right.
NFC. All right.
Yeah, we're gonna start with the Junior League, NFC. So I said it, the Junior League.
Killer is telling me, Soda, to go ahead and download the app. Quit being anti-tech and download the app.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Ferocious Bunny productions of the iconic Drew and Diamondback Sports Opinion Show. And as I said before, we had one caller tonight, and that was Steve, my bro, called in. And that phone number that he called to speak with us.
#SaveTheCrew, 614-781-0754.
Once again, that is 614-781-0754. #SaveTheCrew phone line. So, Diamondback, we are going to talk about our 6 teams that make the playoffs. Oh, we have a caller. All right, who do we have on the line?
It's your brother again.
All right, you wanted to be in on this part, huh?
What's that?
You want to be in on this part while you talk about the National Football Conference picks.
Did you read my text?
No, because I'm doing Facebook Live, so I can't get to my text at the same time.
Oh, okay.
So what'd you put in your text? I'll see it later, but what'd you put in your text, bro?
Oh, I disagree with you. Urban isn't going to take a suspension.
You don't think so?
He would resign first.
Wow. Okay. I have heard that. I've heard a lot of analysts talking about that Urban Meyer's going to say no to a suspension. I would rather just walk away. Personally, I hope that he does take a suspension if they give him one, because I'd hate to lose Urban Meyer as our head coach.
Well, you know what? The machine's going to roll on.
Well, yeah, I agree. No one person is bigger than Ohio State. Excuse me, the Ohio State.
The machine will roll.
Right. The machine will roll right through Bama.
Roll Tide.
So we'll roll right over Bama. Yeah.
You know what? You need to change your view on Alabama.
Nope.
They
Roll
can't be
Tide.
your third favorite team.
Oh, mine.
Oh.
Well, the only reason they are, Steve, is because of Diamondback. It's his fault. He now likes Ohio. He now likes Ohio State.
I respect them
because of me. So we've both kind of changed each other's opinions on that. Plus, when we first met, he was a big baseball fan. Now he knows that football is king.
Well, hopefully, only the iconic Drew is a Alabama fan, not the Andy I know.
Well, yeah, those two go hand in hand a little bit on this. I do like Alabama. I do root for Bama. As long as they're not playing Ohio State. Of course, I root for Notre Dame, because our dad was a big Notre Dame fan.
All right, man, I got to get to bed, so.
All right, well.
I thought I'd call back and tell you I was listening and doing a good job, man.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it, bro.
Appreciate you listening in there, bud.
Have a good night. I'll talk to you later.
All right, later.
All right, go Bucks.
Oh, why do they do that? Hashtag Save the Crew hotline, 614-781-0754. You also can catch us live on WTMHradio.com. Brought to you by Unplugged Magazine.
That's right, Unplugged Magazine. So, once again, everybody, welcome back here. We've had 2 callers tonight. It counts as 2 calls because he called twice. And both times was my bro. Once again, that's hashtag Save the Crew, 614-781-0754. Give us a call at that number, and we will, of course, take your call and talk sports with you for a moment. That's my brother. He is a truck driver, so he needs to go to bed because he starts his day at about 3 o'clock in the morning.
Well, that's
so during the week, he's asleep early, which...
He started his day when I was finally dozing off.
When you were finally going to sleep, Steve was starting his day.
Jesus.
So, good for him. But I mean, truck drivers...
right back up after 3 hours after that.
We talked about this earlier, Diamondback, when we were talking about that fire, and those being the real heroes, the firemen, the policemen, in the military. I tell you what, I got to hand it to our truck drivers, too. You should have heard me when we were moving on Saturday. You should have heard me. My legs started falling asleep, and I was whining and carrying on. And I'm sitting there thinking to myself, how does my bro do this for like hours on end just driving in a truck? I mean, that's a tough job. It's still tougher than people give it credit for.
I've got my Class B. I tell you what, you get behind a rig of any sort, and especially those, because those things don't stop on a dime. I got my Class B because I drove a school bus.
Right.
And it beats you up. It really does, because you bounce around a lot.
Right. So let's get into the NFC, the National Football Conference playoffs right now. So, Diamondback, what are your top 6 teams? We know who your 6 teams are. You gave them to us a couple weeks ago. What are your top 6 teams, 1 through 6?
You want me to go 1 and down to 6?
Yes.
Or you want me to go the other way around?
Nope, 1 through 6.
Okay, starting at 1, Eagles, Saints, Minnesota, Rams, Falcons, and Green Bay.
Okay, so I have, my top 6 are the Packers, Falcons, Saints, Rams, Eagles, Cowboys. So, what are your wild card matchups?
Well, that would make...
6 versus 3 and 5 versus 4.
Right. That would be, I'm sorry, the Rams playing the Falcons.
Okay.
And Green Bay playing Minnesota.
And who do you have winning? Wait a minute, I need to write your picks down here. Hold on.
He could ask me to email. Once again, guys, check me out on LMS.DiamondBack on YouTube.
So what are your wild card matchups again?
It is the Minnesota's playing Green Bay in Minnesota.
Okay.
And the Rams are playing the Falcons in L.A.
Okay, and who do you have winning?
I've got the Falcons and Green Bay.
Okay, that's fair. Now, what are your divisional matchups?
My divisional matchups is going to be Eagles against Green Bay because one will play 6.
Mm-hmm.
And 2 will play 5 at this case, and the Saints will go against the Falcons.
Okay. And who do you have winning?
I have, you ready for this? Green Bay and the other road team, the Falcons.
Okay, so far not a big surprise here. Then, your conference championship game would be Green Bay against your Falcons. Who do you have winning?
Green Bay.
Wow, okay, so you have Green Bay in the Super Bowl.
Yes, I got Green Bay in the Super Bowl.
Okay,
Super Bowl pick.
Green Bay versus somebody. Now we'll get to the AFC picks later after our rants. Everybody's going to stay tuned through our rants before we get to the AFC. Now let's do the iconic Drew.
Did you do that on purpose?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Of course I did that on purpose. It's also about planning in the biz. So, my wild card round features the number 6 Cowboys versus the number 3 Saints. The Saints win.
Oh.
Then we have the number 5 Eagles versus the number 4 Rams. And the number 5 Eagles win. So one road team and one home team winning in the wild card round. Divisional round. We have the number 5 Eagles versus number 1 Packers. Packers win. Then we have the number 3 Saints versus the number 2 Falcons. And the number 3 Saints win.
Oh.
Yeah. Then the NFC Championship game features a good matchup at quarterback. Not that the other one wouldn't have been, too, with Matt Ryan. But Drew Brees versus Aaron Rodgers. That's a pretty good matchup.
Yeah.
And I'm going to have the Saints versus the Packers. I got the Packers going to the Super Bowl out of the NFC. So we agreed on that. Packers in the Super Bowl.
Really, the only difference is I got the Falcons playing them after the Falcons beat the Saints.
Yeah, you don't have the Cowboys in the playoffs.
And I don't have the and I don't have the Cowboys in the playoffs.
Right.
Which
is a mistake.
And but yeah, I mean, so we're pretty close on that.
Right, it's not bad. That's not bad overall right there. Those are, I mean, I don't know. We'll have to wait and see what happens once playoffs get here. And a lot of injuries could happen in those 17 weeks of football. Man, football. Can you believe football's almost here, Diamondback? This is incredible. I was just like,
part of me is like, thank God it's here because I miss it. I start.
Well, I start watching, nothing against our friends from Canada, but Killer, I'm going to tell you right now, I start watching the Canadian Football League when it comes on ESPN because I miss football. I need to watch it. I have to. I have to start watching football. It's like, and I love the Canadian League. We give their scores every week. You give their scores every week in your segment. And I love watching Canadian football, but I'm sorry. When it comes time, there's nothing like the NFL and college football here in America. There's nothing, you can't top it.
You really can't. I mean, and I really love the college ball. Love how they do it because they're actually fighting to become these millionaires. They're actually trying to prove themselves, and that's what makes college great.
Yes,
because they
that
are
and the tradition. Let's just be honest. It's hard to top the tradition of college football. I've been to pro football games. I've been to college football games. And nothing tops going to a college football game. I mean, nothing. It's unbelievable, the atmosphere. And don't get me wrong, I love pro football too, but college football for me is, we did our rankings of our top 10 sports a couple weeks ago with a couple honorable mentions. We both put college football at number 1 and pro football at number 2.
Yes.
So
no, there's just no doubt about that.
Right. Yeah. So those are our National Football Conference picks. And we both have Green Bay. Hopefully Steve is still listening. He probably dozed off. I told him to kind of stick around for this segment because I knew who I picked. And I thought you would go with the Falcons.
You really thought I was going to go
with the Falcons? Yeah, I thought you'd go with the Falcons.
I mean, I got my bought my first jersey. I'm wearing my Atlanta Falcons jersey.
Yes.
Julio Jones.
Julio,
of
the
course.
man.
So I'm supporting both my teams because
Right, because he played for Bama. Right.
So I
Isn't
mean,
that awesome when a player, your favorite player from your favorite school, goes to your favorite pro team?
Yeah, and
it's happened to me a few times.
It's happened to me now twice, and both of them are still with the Atlanta Falcons.
Yes. The Steelers love to
Ridley.
The Steelers love to draft Buckeyes. I don't know why. I mean, it's not a bad thing to do. Don't get me wrong.
No, it's not. They
didn't
got a
draft
lot of great players. You know,
they didn't draft any this year.
I give you crap a little bit here and there, but they got some great players.
Well, obviously, and this team's loaded this year. Look out. So anyway, we'll wait and see on all that in our Final Four predictions. We both have Ohio State in the Final Four and Green Bay in the Super Bowl. So how about that? We are at hashtag Save the Crew phone line 614-781-0754.
That's 614-781-0754.
We've technically had 2 callers tonight, both my brother, but we've technically had 2 callers. That's okay.
2 calls.
2 calls. It counts.
2 calls.
1 more to tie.
1 caller. 2 calls.
2 to break our record.
Come
And
on.
that's pretty awesome. Call, people.
Call.
Hashtag 614-781-0754. Hashtag Save the Crew. I meant to say that first. Now we're going to play some commercials. Here's one I did when I was at the Ohio Media School, and I'm going to do one on the Ohio Media School as well during this break. When we come back from this break, it's time for the Diamondback Rant.
Oh.
Yes, it's time for the
You know what I'm ranting
Diamondback
about?
Rant.
I don't know what I'm ranting about. You know what I'm ranting about?
You better figure it out, Diamondback. You got a few
I need a
commercials here.
Come on, Zach.
This is so typical of the Diamondback. So he's just joking, I'm sure.
I know what I'm ranting about.
But all right, let's play some commercials and a bumper. Oh, we're going to do the Major League Baseball Diamondback bumper during this break as well. Figure we're going into his rant. We should do one of his bumpers. That's kind of my thinking on that. Kind of let you.
That's where you're thinking?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. That's what we do in the biz. We think.
Well,
So.
I'm glad one of us is thinking because one of us isn't today.
And we won't say which.
There's always something happening. Some balls or something.
Hey, you know what? I can lift my hand and I can do this and nobody sees it. Except for the WTMH
Yeah.
YouTube.
Don't forget about the night legends.
It's exactly like nothing else. Visit btsf.com for more.
Wish I could remember who I did this commercial with.
Downtown Sioux Falls.
'Cause he's got a smooth voice too.
And here comes Ben Simon.
Let's see. OMS.
Guys, I keep mentioning, please go to LMS.DiamondBack on YouTube. Check me out there. Of course, we are on WTMH Radio, sponsored by Unplugged Magazine. Check us out there. Next week, we're going to be broadcasting from Iconic Drew's YouTube page as well. So we are going to...
No way!
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Oh my God!
I was planning on doing it tonight. However, we have to wait 24 hours after getting his activated. I can't remember that with mine, but I guess that's the thing. So, rant.
Better get his rant together.
It's,
Diamondback, if you remember.
no, Killer just chimed in on my YouTube. I absolutely love this, by the way. I'm actually going to get Streamlabs a prop because of their
Streamlabs
prop, because this program is actually awesome. I'm able to do a couple of things with that, and
We're actually running close on time
and
now.
bring up my sponsor, the barber shop.
Todd's.
Yes.
Carol. Hi, Carolyn. How you doing?
Then
Been a long time since I've
back
talked to you.
So appreciate you.
I'm
all
glad we're still in
chiming
touch a little
on here,
bit.
Those of you that have.
This is almost over.
Please
Talking sports tonight.
help me out a little bit. Remember,
So, oh, she's gone.
I am going live in 2 weeks strictly on YouTube, and that's LMS.DiamondBack.
Phew.
Why are we quiet? Dude, I tried to shorten this down as much as I could. I actually got this done.
You freaking, I mean, baseball, dude. Really? You talk for over 3 minutes about baseball?
You know I used to love baseball. I'm actually getting back into it again.
That's unfortunate. We need to pull you back out. Although wait until, I mean, next spring we'll have to do a baseball show where we're predicting how good the Motor City Kitties are going to be.
We gotta mention the I don't know. Do you have this over there? No, you don't. It's over there. We gotta mention. I just now see that. We gotta mention the WTMH Radio Music Awards.
Yeah, I guess I could do that. It's right here.
So we gotta do that.
We don't got to.
No, it's actually asking us to do it twice an hour, and we haven't done it once.
Who's not?
Is that where we're at in this? God, I gotta shorten that down.
That was okay.
I did really well last week. I got it what?
Hey, it's the iconic crew. Well, as a public level.
Why does it have to be another boring college football rank? I know you're not rant. Why does it have to be that? I just don't understand it.
This one.
School is located at 5
Well,
It's supposed to be on there.
So do what the iconic crew did and go to the Ohio Media School.
so Diamondback, we're just talking during the break there about two exciting things coming up. One's next week. What's going to happen next week on our show? YouTube.
Oh, yes, we are going to be broadcasting not only from WTMH Radio's YouTube page, but we are going to be broadcasting from your YouTube page. The
Wow.
Iconic Drew.
The Iconic Drew is going to have a YouTube
It's going
page?
to be live on there. And of course,
That's amazing.
I'm streaming now on LMS.DiamondBack. So
That is amazing.
I know,
Iconic Drew is going to have his own YouTube page finally.
Yes.
We got it signed in tonight, everybody. And what happened? See, well, what had happened on the way to the film was that, yeah, they said you got to wait 24 hours for it to be available, and we were like, what? We're gonna wait 24. Diamondback didn't have to wait 24 hours. I think there's some discrimination going on against that guy, but it's okay. We'll wait till next week. We'll be up there. The other exciting news here, and we were supposed to announce this twice an hour. Sorry, WTMH. So.
WTMH Radio.
The Music Awards.
Brought to you by
Unplugged Magazine.
Unplugged Magazines.
On Saturday, November 10th at 6 p.m., red carpet event at King Arts Complex in Columbus, Ohio. I know where that is because I went there to graduate from the Ohio Media School.
You regurgitated?
That's where I graduated from. That was where the ceremony was.
Great.
So I already know where this place is. And you know what? I mean, I think we're still the only sports show here at WTMH. So I kind of have a feeling we might win some awards.
We might win one?
I mean, if there's a sports category, we might win.
Yep.
You know, once again, this is on Saturday, November 10th. From what I've been told, this is 6 p.m. on that day. From what I've been told, this is a black tie event. We have to dress up. Yeah. I've got a special tie I'm going to wear that night. I'll break out that night. So, yeah, and a shirt that goes with it. Oh man, I'm gonna look fly that night. I'm gonna look dope. So anyway, right now we're gonna get back into the commercials. When we come back from this commercial, it's time for the Diamondback rant.
Okay, before we do, please go to WTMHradio.com. Actually, give us some nominations. All right,
do the welcome back.
Go ahead and give us some nominations. We'd really appreciate it. Then maybe we can win something. So. And Killer, yes, we nominate Killer for Best Supporting Listener and Caller. Please.
Best Supporting Listener and Caller.
And
wow.
I will be glad to accept your award if you get nominated for that.
Oh, do you want to introduce the segment, or you want me to do it again? Your call.
I need to work with you on how I would do it.
Okay.
So this is where your professionalism will work.
Thunder. Thunder.
I actually had a mullet back in the day. I'd be great in a mosh pit.
Welcome back, everybody, to the iconic Drew and Diamondback Sports Opinion Show here on WTMHradio.com, sponsored by Unplugged Magazine. Coming up as well on Saturday, November 10th at 6 p.m., a red carpet event at King's Art Complex here in Columbus, Ohio, is the WTMH Radio Music Show. That should be pretty awesome. Music Awards Festival. From what I understand, Diamondback, we have to dress up for this thing. I already have something in mind. Definitely going to wear a tie. I'm going to look fly that night. And as I said before, I'm going to look dope. So, once again, our phone number, hashtag Save the Crew, 614-781-0754. That is the hashtag Save the Crew phone line, 614-781-0754. Now, funny things about to happen here, folks. It's not funny that Diamondback's going to rant. That's not funny. He's getting pretty decent at it. I have to give him props on that. So it's not funny that he's going to rant. What's funny is that the iconic Drew's mic is going to be muted while Diamondback rants. We got to get him to introduce this segment eventually. I think he'll get there soon. We'll see. So we did manage to mention the music awards thing twice this hour now. So
Yes,
that's
we
good.
did.
And maybe we'll make up for it as the night goes
Once
on here.
again, go to
WTMH.
WTMHradiomusicawards.com and give us some nominations, please.
Yeah,
folks.
right.
Please.
And like I said before, we're, I believe, the only sports show here at WTMH. So we might win some things by default.
If we
But
get not- yeah,
you know what?
nominated for best sports
That
show.
would be cool to win things. I don't mind winning by default. I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
So now, here it goes. Time for the Diamondback. He's actually wearing his cans during this rant because I told him to be professional, so maybe he's listening to me for a change.
No, I'm not listening to you. I just don't have my hat.
So that's right. He forgot his hat tonight. That was that nap. Here comes the Diamondback. Are you ready?
Yes.
The Diamondback rant.
All right, guys. So I have thrown the Big Ten. I have thrown. I'm trying to think who else I've thrown under the bus here. I can't. It's not doing it. Well, guess what? It's time to throw my beloved SEC under the bus.
Thank God it's a
What
sorry,
is going on with the SEC? What bothers me about the SEC? I'm an SEC fan. I love Alabama, right? I'm tired of these games that they do at the end of the season against underwater basket weaving teams. Tired of Alabama playing Mercer just before we play Auburn. Go ahead and do a bye. Get these games in the beginning of the season like every other conference.
I went with back in black.
Every conference plays their games in the beginning of the season. They don't play these games late in the season like that. What are you doing? If you need a rest, take a bye week. Don't do that. And every team almost does it in the SEC. There's a couple of them that do not. They actually play an SEC team, but they play their rival, like Georgia will play Georgia Tech the last week. So Georgia does not do this, but they have their underwater basket weaving teams that they play throughout the year. Get like everybody else, play 9 games within the conference. Everybody else does it. Big 12 does it. They play every team in the Big 12. There's only 10 teams, but they play every team. 9 teams. The ACC plays 9 teams. The Big 10 plays 9 teams. They actually got it right. I'm sorry. They've got it right. We've got it wrong. And stop playing these late underwater basket weaving colleges. End of it. Done.
Wow, that was it.
That's it.
So there's the Diamondback rant for the week, everybody. And So you're throwing your own conference under the bus.
Oh, every conference has got something wrong with it. Every conference has got something wrong with it.
Except the Big Ten. But anyway,
No, the Big Ten, they just need to quit crying, asking us to come up here in the cold.
well, come up.
Well, open a date. We have one.
Well, you guys obviously have an open date because you're playing underwater basket weaving U.
Playing Mercer.
Mercer, yeah. So, and there's only bad things come out of that game. First of all, you look like big bullies beating up on Mercer.
Yeah, precisely.
Secondly, what if you lose? Ask Meat Chicken. Appalachian State ring a bell?
State, which
So-
is a Division I team now.
Yes,
but
they
they
are.
were a Division II team.
And thanks to beating Meat Chicken, they got up to Division I. So that kind of propelled them in that direction. So maybe Mercer gets there too, or maybe these other schools that Bama beats up on every year before they play Auburn.
Well, Auburn does it too. I mean, as I said,
And they both do it every year.
Every year. I mean,
So-
it's their time to beat up on the Sun Belt, teams, and it's just like, no, let's go ahead and just play somebody of meaning. Even if you played Kentucky, for crying out loud, at least you're playing an SEC team.
Yes.
And they're going to step it up because they're going to want to knock you off because they're going to want to say, hey, we beat, and they got a better chance of beating you than Mercer.
Yeah, or maybe one of your favorite independent teams could be available that week.
There you go. I would
Army
take
or
that.
Navy or
Navy's no longer.
that's right. Navy is no longer an independent,
yeah.
are they? Or Notre Dame.
Notre Dame.
Imagine playing Notre Dame the week before you play Auburn. Wouldn't that be fun? Okay, talk about playing a big rival. That's what you want to do, right? You want to step it up.
No, that's actually, I like it. But see, we step it up in the beginning of the season. We play it right off the bat. We play a big game.
Yeah. I don't like that. I like to work my way up to it. I don't want to play a big team.
I kind of, as I said, I like that they do the Chick-fil-A Bowl, the Chick-fil-A Bowls in the beginning of the season. It's really nice that they do that. I just wish it would be like the second game of the season, not the first game of the season, because I'm on edge because it's like, are we ready for this big of a stage?
If you're Alabama, you better be.
Yeah, you got to be. I mean, but it just makes me nervous. I am a homer. I do love my Alabama Crimson Tide. They should win. However, it's just like I'm on pins and needles because I haven't seen them play that there. But Ohio State starting out with their draw out of the Pac-12. I like that you have a draw out of the Pac-12 and all that. So
well, and I like the fact that they're doing this like draws out of a major division instead of saying, oh no, you gotta play Youngstown State or you gotta play Miami of Ohio. Now I don't really mind too much playing the MAC schools at the beginning of the year because at least the money's going back into Ohio, into one of the Ohio teams. But Ohio State's not going to lose that game.
No, they're not going to lose that. And I don't have a problem with that.
Don't get me wrong.
I don't have a problem with that one team, but once again, use that as your builder.
Yeah.
Okay, do that. Don't do that because of you're looking for a bye week just before you play your rival. As I said, and that's what my rant's about. You're taking a bye week just before the rival, and it's like, well, and we've talked about this.
It's not really a bye week because you're at least playing a football team.
Yeah, you're playing a football team.
So you still have a chance at injuries, unfortunately.
Injuries, because once you build, but once they build up the lead, they put their second stringers in, their third stringers in, their future prospects of quarterback, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
That's when they stick them in there to give them a chance to prove what they have and all that. As I said, you guys got to draw out of the Pac-12 every year, and I love that you guys do that with the Pac-12, the Big 12 and the Big 12, the Pac-12 and the Big 10 have got that set up. I absolutely love that, and that comes from having the Rose Bowl locked down for years, where that's the only two teams they would take out of is one team, the conference winner out of the Pac-12 or Pac-10 at that time, and the Big 10. We actually start out with Louisville right off the bat. We're coming right out of the gate in a Chick-fil-A Bowl against Louisville. Granted, we should win that team.
Louisville's not a top 25 team.
They're not a top 25 team, but they're out of the ACC.
So they're not Clemson.
No, they're not Clemson.
I mean, I'm sorry, I don't necessarily consider that a bigger matchup than Oregon State.
No, as I said, but it's a game that does worry me because it's like we're starting out a lot stronger than some of the Big Ten teams and all that. But we are invited to these Chick-fil-A games all the time.
So you think that playing Louisville is a tougher matchup than playing Oregon State?
Yes.
I think it's about the same. I don't have much respect for Louisville's lost their quarterback. Who do they have now?
Oh, I did not hear that.
Lamar Jackson is in the NFL. He's playing for the Ravens.
Oh, that I thought you were talking about they had an injury.
No.
I do believe Louisville will be back up towards the top 25. So they will be ranked a couple times. I actually see them climbing into top 10.
Well, if they beat Bama, they'll definitely get ranked up there.
They'll.
I mean, if they beat Alabama, they'll be in the top 10 right now. Not that they're going
Alabama
to.
should be all the way. Yeah, no, they shouldn't. But it is an ACC matchup. It is like playing Oregon State. I do like the Chick-fil-A games because they do match that up.
No, I have to disagree with you on this one, Diamondback. I think that, I mean, I agree with your rant. Don't get me wrong. I agree with your rant because I've always been a proponent of Alabama and Auburn not playing a patsy or a cupcake the week before they play each other. And I understand it's a scheduling snafu in the SEC. The fact that all of a sudden you're left with no one to play in the SEC, and you're left with a situation where you're like, well, who are we going to play? Who's available? Well, the only teams available are in the Sun Belt because the Big Ten's playing each other. Every other conference is playing each other. So you don't have anybody to play.
ACC has a couple of these as well. ACC has a
couple.
And I'm not every team in there does it.
And I'm certainly not saying that Ohio State doesn't have cupcakes. Of course they do.
Yeah, but they got them in the right part of the year.
We got them in the right part of the year.
The beginning. You're supposed to be building off your mistakes and learning from your mistakes and not paying for your mistake.
Right. Right, let me relook at something here for 1 second.
Okay, not a problem. WTMHradio.com, brought to you by Unplugged Magazine. Once again, that is Saturday, November 10th, is the red carpet event at the King's Arts Complex. WTMH Radio, MusicAwards.com for nominations for...
I was looking back at the top 25, and no, Oregon State's not a ranked team either.
No, Oregon State's
I still think, I mean, okay, Alabama's playing Louisville on a neutral field because it's a Chick-fil-A bowl game.
Yeah.
So preseason, or not preseason, but beginning of season bowl game. Chick-fil-A does that every year.
Now,
but Ohio State is playing at home against Oregon State.
Now, that is a draw. Once again, I want to mention that is a draw. That is not something Ohio State plans.
Right.
That is what's brought between Pac-12 and Big Ten.
Yeah.
It happens to be Ohio State's year to host and not travel.
Right. And they happen to draw Oregon State instead of Washington or Oregon. Those two teams are ranked.
Yeah, those are the only two I do believe.
Of the Pac-12, I believe that's correct. Yes. So I mean, but I still say that to me this is a wash. I don't see Louisville as a tougher competition than Oregon State. It's about the same. You guys overrule Louisville. What are you worried about here? That game's going to be 62-0. Bama's going to crush them. It's not going to be close. It's going to be close to the coin flip.
Yeah, I do believe it's this year. I gotta look where that's actually being played at, but I do believe it's played in the Georgia Dome, of course, the second home of the Alabama Crimson Tide.
Right, exactly, because they own.
I'm sorry, the Dome is no longer.
They own Atlanta.
Mercedes Stadium.
Sorry to Georgia and Georgia Tech, but Alabama owns that state.
Yeah.
As well as their own.
Yeah.
So no, you get really. How are you worried about Louisville? They're not.
I mean, the worry's there, but the worry's there for almost every game for stupidity. And the game that I'm actually griping about is we are playing Citadel.
Citadel this year, not Mercer. Wasn't it Mercer last year? I believe it was Mercer last year.
Yeah, I do believe it was Mercer last year. We're playing Citadel.
I mean, I agree with you on this. I do think that SEC needs to do something with their scheduling so this doesn't happen.
And I
you
really
guys would be better off playing Kentucky than playing the Citadel.
Right. Nine games season within our own conference. play 3 games outside, just like every other conference is doing.
Right.
And we're stepping it up. We're playing in the Chick-fil-A this year. That takes a home game away from us, by the way. I mean,
okay, so it does take a home game away from you. Ohio State is playing at home against Oregon State.
Once again, as I said, my point to that is that's your draw.
However, we are Ohio State is of course going through the Urban Meyer situation right now, so they could be without their head coach, which could make a difference.
That can make a difference, yes. But I still see you guys winning that game.
Well, I think Ohio State wins big. I'm not even worried about Oregon State. I'm not worried until we go to Dallas and play TCU. Then I'm worried. Because TCU can throw the ball all over the place. I don't know if you've seen Ohio State secondary, but hello. Anyway, yeah, folks, I just called him out. That is the hashtag Save the Crew phone line, 614-781-0754. That's right, I'm sitting here in a Buckeye shirt, and I'm criticizing the Ohio State defense. Let me explain why. What worries me every time I watch Ohio State is their secondary. They don't teach their secondary at Ohio State to turn around and watch for the ball and then go for the ball. Their defenders, their corners and safeties run through the wide receivers when the ball's in the air. Cause a lot of defensive pass interference penalties because they don't teach defense right. And I don't know why. It boggles my mind because how, at a place like Ohio State, how can you not be teaching your defense to play that correctly? So that's kind of irritating to me, but not my rant. My rant's coming up next. So that was the iconic, the Diamondback rant that we just had. We're going to have the iconic Drew rant next. Later on, we'll get back to the AFC, the American Football Conference of the National Football League, and we'll give our picks for the AFC coming up here shortly after the iconic Drew rant. During this commercial set, Diamondback, we got some good stuff coming up here.
Really?
Yeah, we do, really. We're gonna do one of my bumpers because we're leading to my rant. Makes sense.
Fair enough.
Right? It's gonna be the National Hockey League bumper that I put together. And then we'll have some other surprises during this one. Of course, we'll have Todd's commercial during this break because Todd, I don't know if you're still out there or not, but the iconic Drew rant is always sponsored by Todd's Barbershop. So we play that commercial right before my rant every time. And also, we'll have some other surprises during this one as well. Like I said, we do have the American Football Conference update coming up as well. And that's going to be exciting as we rank our top 6 teams and look at the playoffs and see where the teams are going to go and who's going to win the Super Bowl. Because we're going to talk about the Super Bowl during that segment as well. And our Super Bowl matchups and who's going to be there and who's going to win. So that could be surprising, maybe. So let's go ahead and hit this NHL update. Take things from there. Just 1 second here.
All right, everybody, now it's time for the iconic Drew National Hockey League update.
Live looking.
The Oilers signed free agent Upshaw to a tryout. Bucks signed winger Cass to a 3-year contract.
Killer, I really appreciate you chiming in tonight. I understand you got your hockey tonight, so I hope everything goes
to a 6-year extension. Now I know you're all wondering, all you great Blue Jackets.
So thanks for stopping by and everything like that.
Is there any update up there at this point from the Jackets?
Wow.
And remember, folks, coming up, WTMH Radio Music Awards, Saturday, November 10th at 6 p.m. It's a red carpet event at the King's Art Complex here in Columbus, Ohio. Happens to be where the iconic Drew graduated as well. And what do you think, Diamondback? Think since we're the only sports show here at WTMH, we got a shot at winning some awards?
I don't know. We might come in second place now.
Second place to nobody.
Right.
Yeah, we could be the first losers. The first loser and not lose to anybody.
Right.
That would be insane. I would not be very happy about that as far as that goes. That would not be cool. But anyway, get nominated. Go to WTMH Radio MusicAwards.com and nominate the iconic Drew and Diamondback Sports Opinion Show. That nomination period, by the way, folks, ends on Sunday, September 30th.
Sunday, September 30th.
Sunday, September 30th is when that nomination period ends. So,
WTMHRadioMusicAwards.com.
and what's our phone number again?
That's hashtag Save the Crew 614-781-0754.
That's hashtag Save the Crew 614-781-0754. I didn't even look that time. Got the number down, 614-781-0754. We've had 2 calls tonight, both from my bro. It was nice to hear from Steve, who I'm sure is asleep by this point, and missed that we both have the Packers and the Super Bowl of the NFC. Anyway, when we get back, folks, we will have the iconic Drew rant. Just a moment. Say, it's a new girl.
Auburn's going to play the Liberty Flames that week.
Yeah.
I mean, this is just bogus bullcrap.
Drew.
Killer's telling me I need to pick something new to rant about, but I am picking. I'm
It's a different conference every time. You go with that. Stick with that for a while. I mean, get through them all. Because they're all different. None of them are the same.
Well, I mean, he doesn't have a love for college football, so.
Yeah, well, that's his problem. And I like Killer. Oh, your mic's going to be muted when we come back.
Oh, I figured as much.
Okay.
I'll talk to my own people. He's going to mute my mic. Says he doesn't like me anymore.
That's not true.
Doesn't like me.
I'm at Todd's Barber Shop.
He rants they shouldn't wear my cans. You didn't do that, Kelly. I was just passing to him that you told me to pick something new about my rant. I got to come up with
Welcome back, everybody, to the iconic Drew and DiamondBack Sports Opinion Show, the ferocious money productions of that. We are at hashtag Save the Crew. Phone line 614-781-0754 at WTMHradio.com, sponsored by Unplugged Magazine. We also got the WTMH Radio and Music Awards coming up Saturday, November 10th at 6 p.m. Red carpet event at King's Art Complex, Columbus, Ohio. I get to wear a tie that night. Not very often do you get to see the iconic Drew in a tie, but I will be wearing a tie that night. I was told I had to wear a tie. I've got a special one in mind for this. So, it is time for the iconic Drew rant. Before I get to my rant, let me give you a little background on it as far as all that goes, so you know where the rant is coming from. This rant is about, is it better to have a few good teams or have competitive balance? So a little background on that. We're just going to do a comparison between the National Football League and the National Basketball Association, or as it's known by fans of that league, the Association. That's what they kind of call themselves. If you're not hearing Diamondback, it's because his mic is muted until the rant is over. That's the way this works. I mute my own mic during his rant out of respect. So that's the way this works. Anyway, a little bit of history on this. Parity-wise in the NFL, free agencies and player movement help this to be the case. So parity rules in the NFL. Free agency and player movement help this to be the case. So teams like the Pittsburgh Steelers and the New England Patriots can be on the cusp of greatness every year, but other teams can keep them from it. Meanwhile, in the NBA, there's only a few good teams that have a few teams that all have a legitimate shot at winning the championship. Everybody said last year it was going to be Warriors and Cavs. Guess what? It was Warriors and Cavs. It was predicted. It happened. Warriors won, of course. Sorry, Cleveland. No, I'm not. And so teams like the Warriors, the Celtics, the Lakers, the Thunder, they have a legitimate shot at winning the championship next year. There might be one or two others, but that's about it. The NFL has much more competitive balance as far as that goes. And here's why, here's my rant. Here's why I think that competitive balance is the way that it ought to be. Because if you're a fan of a team, let's say you're a fan of the Detroit Pistons in the NBA. Now, why you would want to follow the Detroit Pistons, I don't know. I've done it for years, and I still don't know why I do it. They're from Detroit, Meat Chicken State, but I'm a fan of that team. They're my favorite NBA team. They'll always be my favorite NBA team. I have watched them win 2 NBA championships in my lifetime, so that's not bad. But right now, they suck. They got a new head coach, but they're not going to make if they make the playoffs, they'll be out in the first round. They have no shot at winning an NBA championship this fall. Meanwhile, if you're a fan, and I'll say it, if you're a fan of the Cleveland Browns, right now you have hope. Right now you have hope. You have hope. They're probably not going to win the championship this year, but you have hope. You have no hope if you're a fan of a team in the NBA that I didn't mention earlier, because none of those teams, or one of those teams is going to win the championship. Probably the Warriors. Probably the Golden State Warriors are going to win the whole thing. Now, as far as that goes, which is better, have competitive balance or not have competitive balance? To me, competitive balance is the way it ought to be, because every team then has a legitimate shot at winning a championship. Every team has a shot. Through free agency and player movement, the NFL has made this king. The NFL is king anyway. So they have made this the way that it is, the way that it should be. Player movement and having competitive balance is the way it ought to be. Teams now have a shot at winning. Every year we see teams go from worst in their division to best in their division. Happens a lot in Diamondback's division. Almost a different winner every year in that division. So that's about competitive balance. That's about free agency movement as far as that is concerned. And now, Diamondback, what do you think?
Well, kind of hard to disagree with. Competitive balance is definitely something that you need. I'm sorry. Killer has pointed out that the NBA has super teams.
Yes, they do.
And they're
and
on
there's
top.
And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that.
He's also going out on a limb here and saying that nobody will compete with the Warriors. No, that's not out on a limb. I actually kind of agree with him, and I know very little about the NBA. But no, I think if the NBA does not get a handle on this, they might be killing their own sport. Not having competitiveness, they're not going to have the fan base stick with them. When the Cleveland Browns when it was Baltimore Ravens were the Cleveland Browns fans stuck through their team and stuck to them hardcore. They sold out the stadium and they were there to the last one. Back in the 90s, if they would have had an 0-16 season and they scored a touchdown in the last game of the season, they would have been holding their finger up, going, "We're number one." That's just the way they would be. There. They are struggling right now. I do believe, yes. I make the joke they got very little hope, but they do have hope this year of making an improvement.
They got more hope than the Detroit Pistons
do. No, and that's the thing. If they don't change something in the NBA, I can see the NBA dying.
Personally, I don't have a problem with super teams in the NBA. We've had it for years.
But because
Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen were a super team to a certain degree.
They didn't put themselves together.
No, they did not.
I'm going to say it. The inmates are running the asylum right now.
Well, of course they are. They have been for years.
And they have been for years, and that's there. I just, mediocrity is not something you strive for.
No.
I'm sorry. And I know the Cleveland Browns. I make fun of the Cleveland Browns. I know the Cleveland Brown organization don't want to have these losing seasons. They don't want to have that. No team in the NFL does. But the NFL has something in place that actually keeps every team competitive. There's only been four teams that have not made it to the Super Bowl. And of course, the Browns top that list, the Jaguars and the Lions, as well as the Texans.
Right.
The Texans are the newest team there. Jaguars is second newest. Lions have been around for forever, but they've been on the cusp. They've been there.
The Lions have pulled off the 0-16 too, and during my rant, I mentioned that there's two teams in the AFC that are on the cusp of greatness almost every year right now, the Steelers and Patriots.
Right.
And those two teams are generally playoff teams every year, But last year, the Steelers got knocked off by the Jaguars. A new playoff team last year.
Correct.
So, that's what I'm saying in this rant is they just because the Steelers were the Steelers, they still got beat in the playoffs.
But you are seeing a decline in Browns. They're still kind of selling out their stadium, but you're starting to see a decline in attendance because they're just not doing that. Now, is that because today's generation doesn't want to go to the game because it's too cold? They're just too afraid, or is it that the fans are, I'm tired of my team losing? But I do believe that the Browns will turn around. They will be back up there. They will be a sellout, a crowd again every year, stuff like that. But yes, the competitiveness is what makes it so great.
Right.
It's what makes it great. And it gives the smaller franchises, the ones that are not in big, in LA, not in San Francisco, not in New York, it gives the Atlanta team a chance to shine.
Well, look what it's done for Green Bay. You think a team in Green Bay could make it in the NBA? No way. No way. And you're talking about a team that's owned by their fans.
That would be Milwaukee Bucks, correct?
Right. About the same situation.
Yeah.
Milwaukee's a bigger city than Green Bay, though.
Green Bay. Okay.
That's my point is Green Bay is more like a high school town.
Right.
But yet they've made it an NFL franchise work there. And they're competitive generally.
So it's awesome there. That's just that.
So once again, I'm sorry, go ahead. I'm back.
Killer's bringing up also the NBA East Conference is going to be there. For crying out loud, they're thinking, okay, we're going to take everybody and throw them into one conference, basically.
The majority of, in fact, the top 6-7 players in the NBA all play out west now.
Right.
Including LeBron James, who is still number one. Still the best player in the league right now. He's the current GOAT.
And still will not compete with the Warriors.
Whether or not, and that's a debate for another time, but whether it's Michael Jordan or LeBron James, the GOAT of all time, personally, I've always said Michael Jordan. But I think that here's my thing with the NBA. I don't have an issue with super teams because I kind of see it as I kind of wish that people wanted to go to Detroit, go help my Pistons out and win a championship. They did pick up Blake Griffin last season from the Clippers, and that was the only real superstar they've picked up in the last 10 years. But I understand players wanting to go to LA, wanting to go to Golden State, these types of places, Houston, and make these teams great. But, to me it's kind of like I do understand the free agency and the player movement. That's what's made the NFL great. It's hurt the NBA because they kind of bring themselves all together, and it only allows a few teams to be competitive. Yeah, and like I said, if you are a fan, especially like right now, if you're a fan of the Cleveland Cavaliers, you've been to the finals the last 4 years.
Correct.
Now you're not even going to make the playoffs. No. Why? Because your hero left again to go to LA. First he went to Miami
and won.
You burn his jersey.
Yeah.
He came back. You welcome him with open arms, and now he leaves. And this was my rant from a couple weeks ago. But how can you welcome this guy? How can you still be happy with this guy? Oh, he won us a championship. That's what Cleveland people say. Cleveland fans are like, he won us one championship. Well, good for you. You got one championship out of the punk, and now he's gone again.
Out of 4 years.
Yeah. Out of 4 times, and they lost to Golden State.
They had three of the 4 beat Golden State once.
Right.
But no, I'm actually shocked. Mediocrity is not something that teams should never be striving for.
Right.
And we've mentioned this. I'm actually shocked you didn't bring it up. Nebraska used to be a very top team. They are now a mediocrity team. Are they striving for that? No, I hope not. I know they just hired a new coach. And
Scott Frost may turn that program around, and this was
I want to see that team back at the top.
Yeah, this was a pro sports rant. So, but yeah, I understand. Yeah, it definitely goes over to college sports too. I don't think any team should be happy with mediocrity. I can guarantee you, the teams I root for on Saturday and Sunday, if those teams went 0-12 or 0-16, there wouldn't be any freaking parade like there was in Cleveland.
No. I agree. I don't think they should be rewarding those people. That's just That's just a precipitation
Ugh.
trophy. That's all that is.
Yeah.
Just leave me alone. Just leave me alone.
Right. I caught that. That was good, Diamondback.
I can't say the word.
So,
All right, leave me alone.
When we come back from this break, hold on one second, everybody. Diamondback, take the show for a minute.
All right, so we're going to come back after a break, but I will go ahead and read the announcement that we have. WTMH Radio Music Awards are on Saturday, November 10th. That's 6 p.m.
God.
That's a red carpet event at the King's Arts Complex. It is sponsored by Unplugged Magazine, as well as WTMHradio.com.
And our phone number here, hashtag Save the Crew, 614-781-0754. Once again, we've had 2 callers tonight. We had 2 calls tonight.
2 calls.
Same caller. My bro Steve called in. Very happy to hear from Steve. And he called in to give his sports opinions, especially on Urban Meyer. So that was a good conversation. Appreciated that. Steve, I'm sure, is asleep by now. But because he's a truck driver, gets up at 3 o'clock in the morning and goes out there and does his job. I'm not sure I could get up that early. But he does it. And once again, hashtag Save the Crew. Phone line, 614-781-0754. We'd like to at least tie our record tonight. Our record for phone calls in a 3-hour show is 3. And we'd like to get that to 4 and actually beat the record tonight and then take it from there and keep moving that number up. But right now we're going to play a couple commercials. When we come back from this break, we will talk about our picks for the American Football Conference of the National Football League.
Awesome.
And get all that going. So here we go with some commercials. We'll be right back. Once again, hashtag Save the Crew, 614-781-0754. So I try to maneuver. There we go.
Once again, 614-781-0754. Please,
Iconic Drew.
my Facebook Live here.
Iconic Drew's got the iconic cough going.
YouTube Live here on my channel. We do have got the nominations. Go to www.wtmhradiomusicawards.com. All right, and please give us a couple nominations. We'd really appreciate that. I don't know if we're...
Once again, folks, that is the WTMH Radio Music Awards, Saturday, November 10th at 6 p.m. It's a red carpet event. King's Art Complex, Columbus, Ohio, sponsored by Unplugged Magazine. Our phone line, once again, hashtag Save the Crew, 614-781-0754. We want to get nominated on this, folks. So, Diamondback, what is that? Where do they go to nominate us?
They're going to go to WTMHradiomusicawards.com. We have us a nomination for Best Sports Show. We'd really appreciate that one. But as we pointed out, we think we are the only sports show here on WTMH Radio.
Right, I still think that is the case, and we should win this category. I would hope against ourselves. I kind of want to represent that first year, you know.
Well, there was another show on here. It was the Diamondback and Iconic Drew show, but that was a short-lived thing, and that was like 2 minutes.
Yeah,
that was my 2 minutes.
Shouldn't have been that long. So we'll be right back.
Oh, wow, that hurt.
Sorry, Diamondback. You know, what can I tell you?
Wow, that hurt. I'm supposed to get 15 minutes of fame. I got 2.
Welcome back, everybody. Like that smooth voice of the iconic Drew just told you. Welcome back to the iconic Drew and Diamondback Sports Opinion Show, where now we get to talk about the American Football Conference of the National Football League. My favorite conference because it contains my favorite team. So we'll find out here in just a few moments if I'm going to be a complete homer or not. We'll see what happens with that.
On my money's on not the homer.
Wow. That's not, I don't know how necessary that is. I mean, you might be right, but I'm not sure how necessary all that is. Well, it's not. It is true. So, I own it. I've said it before. I'll say it again. I do not mind being a homer. In fact, I own that. I'm proud of the teams I root for.
Well, that's good.
Except for the Pistons.
You should be proud of the teams you root for.
Okay, so
I do have to read this here. Killer chimed in right towards the end of your rant there. If the Browns win 3 games, it'll be like winning the Super Bowl.
I think the Browns are going to win between 4 to 6 games this year.
You honestly do that?
Yes, I do. I've got them picked to finish 3rd in their division. I think they're better than Baltimore. They'll sweep Baltimore. They might split with Cincinnati. They won't beat Pittsburgh, but they might split with Cincinnati.
I hope
that's 3 wins right there.
I hope that's right with for Jackson's, Coach Jackson's sake. I really do.
Yeah.
I mean, he's got to show something because being 1 over the last 32 games is not a good record to have as a head coach.
Mm-hmm.
And the other one is Killer's actually saying the Cavs will make the playoffs just because they're in the Eastern Conference.
And they might because they're in the East, but they won't go far.
Yeah.
They're still not going to be a finals team. In fact, they won't get out of the first round if they make the playoffs. Neither will Detroit. Don't get me wrong. There's only one really good team left in the East. Boston.
That's Boston.
Yeah. Well, Toronto could be competitive again.
And it'll probably be Boston against the Warriors.
Right, and that would be my NBA pick. It's way too early for us to do that, but
that's
Boston.
way too early.
But it's also kind of like everybody last year saying, "Oh, Golden State and Cleveland," and that's what happened.
And
it shows you what's wrong with the NBA.
Well, they said that after they play the NBA championship.
Right. So, what are your top 6 teams, and then your wild card round there?
I have.
Where are we at?
New England, number 1. Pittsburgh, the Jacksonville Jaguars, the Kansas City Chiefs, Texans, and Colts.
Okay, so what are your wild card matchups?
So my wild card matchups, that makes the Jags against the Colts and the Chiefs against the Texans.
Okay, who's your winners?
I've got the Texans, and I have Jacksonville.
Interesting. Okay, what are your division matchups?
I have New England playing the Jags. I have Texans playing Pittsburgh. And I've got coming out of there New England and your beloved Steelers.
Wow. You got them going further than I do.
No.
Not. So, you got the Steelers there, and then you have the Steelers against the Pats in the conference championship game.
All right.
And who do you have there?
I have the Green Bay Packers playing. You ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
New England.
Okay. So, we'll leave you right there. We'll get back to the Super Bowl when I get to my Super Bowl pick. We'll leave you there. Here's mine. Here's my top 6 teams. Number 1, Patriots. Number 2, the Jaguars. Number 3, the 6-time Super Bowl champion Pittsburgh Steelers. Number 4, the Titans. Number 5, the Bengals. Number 6, the Oakland Raiders. Now led by Chucky. So, those are my 6 teams.
Okay.
In that order. So, the wild card round, I have the Raiders against the Steelers, a classic matchup. Classic matchup, no love there. And then I have the Bengals against the Titans.
Okay, so
I have the Steelers winning and the Bengals winning.
Steelers and the Bengals.
Yeah.
Both AFC.
AFC North representing that weekend.
All right.
That's our weekend. We represent, we both win. Then I have the divisional round. Number 3 Steelers at the number 2 Jaguars. Number 5 Bengals at the number 1 Patriots. And I have the same matchup for the conference for the AFC Championship game that you do. I have the Patriots and the Steelers. The game obviously in New England.
New England.
New England's number 1 seed, so they get to host.
Yep.
But in my scenario, the Pittsburgh Steelers win.
Homer.
That is fine. I own it. I am a homer. I have no problem admitting that whatsoever. In fact, proud of it. I'd wear a shirt that said Homer on it. I should get a Homer Simpson shirt. Homer. Yeah, when I was on the NFL Pro Football Blitz show with Cass last fall, with Big Cass, who's been a caller in the show a couple of times. He's called in and supports the show, and appreciate that, Big Cass, if you're out there. And I learned a lot from him as well. But he's got a wedding coming up. He's getting married pretty soon. But he's a big Bengals fan. And every time I would pick the Steelers in something, he would play that Homer Simpson going, don't. So
Killer chimed in here real quick. He before he splits to go play hockey. He chimed in Patriots against the Raiders.
Okay.
He's got Raiders winning.
Okay. Chucky in his first year in the Super Bowl, according to. Are they playing the Cowboys? Because I'm sure he's got Cowboys in there. Speaking of homers.
Okay. All right.
So where are we at here?
Yep. So you have
10-9.
Pittsburgh against Green Bay, and I've got New England against Green Bay.
9:50. We got to stretch this out.
So.
Okay, so who do you have winning the Super Bowl there, Diamondback?
Well, everybody loves the New England Patriots. No, they don't. So I have Green Bay. I have Aaron Rodgers winning another Super Bowl.
Well, that's not a bad pick. I mean, I like that. We got Green Bay, a team that a lot of people can root for. A lot of people will be behind because they're playing who they're playing, for one thing, in your Super Bowl matchup. And also just the fact that everybody roots against New England. The Super Bowl party I went to this year, it was basically everybody was rooting for the Eagles.
Right. Well, I mean, you came to my Super Bowl party there.
The year before.
The year before. No, it was a couple of years ago when the Falcons played the Patriots. And everybody there was rooting for the Falcons.
Yes.
As a matter of fact, a lot of people would look at me and go, how can you not be hyped up? They're up. And I'm like going, Tom Brady's still got a chance.
Yeah, he's still Tom Brady. At the end of the day, he's still Tom Brady.
He's still Tom Brady.
I'll tell you what, a classic quarterback Super Bowl matchup that you picked. Tom Brady against Aaron Rodgers.
Awesome.
I mean, Aaron Rodgers has won one Super Bowl at this point because they beat the Pittsburgh Steelers, as my brother would remind us if he was on the phone with us right now. So, Steve being a big-time Packers fan. And they beat the Steelers in that Super Bowl. Now, I've kind of exacted a little revenge here. Green Bay versus Pittsburgh. Ben Roethlisberger versus Aaron Rodgers. We got the best receiver in the league in Antonio Brown. Great running back in Le'Veon Bell. Yes, folks, I'm doing it again. I'm staying on Homerville. I'm taking the Pittsburgh Steelers to win the Super Bowl over the Green Bay Packers. Because that way we get even with them and get our 7th Super Bowl championship. Be the first team to get to 7 and be 2 ahead of the 49ers and Cowboys.
I don't know how Killer's doing this and driving to hockey, but he timed in here Aaron Rodgers all day long.
Well, that's fine. I mean, it's a good matchup. You have to admit, Roethlisberger versus Rodgers. I tell you what, if Rodgers had the talent around him that the Steelers have, he'd be unstoppable. They wouldn't lose a game. But they don't have that. They don't have as much talent on their team as the Steelers do on offense. I've said it before. My biggest concern with the Steelers this season, coming into the year, is their defense. Ryan Shazier being out, their defense was not as good last year after he got hurt. So, and thank God he's walking and moving around and doing what he needs to do at this point. But the simple fact of the matter is, the Steelers' defense is not as good without Ryan Shazier. So, might be a pipe dream on my part to get them that far, but I pretty much will pick them every year. That's my team. Unless I feel like they're like the Browns and don't have a shot, then I will be honest and say, hey, we're a 4 or 5 win team. There's been years we suck. That's fine. So once again, hey, call in on these picks, folks. Call us and tell us how much of an idiot we are. Tell us how much I'm a homer. That's absolutely fine. Tell me. Call me. Call us. We're at hashtag Save the Crew, 614-781-0754. That's 614-781-0754. And tell us how much that you disagree with us, or give us your Super Bowl picks. Give us your Final Four picks for college football, because we talked about that tonight too. Talk to us about Urban Meyer, because we talked about that. Give us your opinion on Meat Chicken's quarterback decision. Talk about all that kind of thing, because we talked about all those topics tonight. Talk to us about our rants. Tell us how crazy we are on our rants. Who was it that said, was it Killer? several weeks ago that said did he call me an idiot, or what did he call me that night?
You know what? I cannot remember. Killer, if you're still there, remind us what you.
What did he call the iconic Drew?
It was like Maniac or
Maniac. Yeah, it was Maniac or something like that. And I was just like, I loved it because the rest of that week on Facebook and through other platforms, people were calling me the Maniac iconic Drew, which I wouldn't mind if that stuck. This could be the Maniac iconic Drew and Diamondback Sports Opinion Show. It's a mouthful. Brought to you by Ferocious Bunny Productions.
Which is another mouthful.
So,
Ferocious Bunny Productions presents.
Once again, folks, WTMH Radio Music Awards Show, Saturday, November 10th. This is going to be at 7:30 p.m. at the King's Art Complex on Mount Vernon Avenue in Columbus, Ohio. It is a red carpet event. Red carpet's at 6, so we got to be there at 6, and we got to wear a tie.
Got to wear a tie.
So I'm not going to announce on the air what tie I'm going to wear.
So I do have.
It will be a sports tie.
It will be a sports.
I will say that much.
Yeah, we'll go with that. I already know what it was.
WTMH Radio Music Show Awards.
It's WTMH Radio.
I think we've
MusicAwards.com.
That's where you go to nominate.
That's where you go to nominate.
Nominate us.
And let me go ahead, if you don't mind. I'm going to take a little bit here,
No.
and I'm actually going to read down some of the categories
Oh, okay.
that they have.
Good. Let's look at the categories.
So, best male hip hop artist. That's the best female hip hop artist. Best collaboration. Best rap group. Best female R&B artist. Best male R&B artist. Best R&B group. Best new artist. Best female model. Best male model. You can nominate me for that one. And we got best gospel rap artist.
Laura might nominate you for that one.
Best gospel male artist.
Wow.
Best gospel female artist. Best video. Best photographer. Best song. Best internet radio show. That would be of the iconic Drew and Diamondback Sports Opinion Show for sure. We got to be the best. We got to be.
I mean,
that's the
talk
whole
about
radio show.
Talk about being a homer.
Homer.
I'll be a homer on that one.
We got to be homers on this.
Yeah, because we are the best.
We are the best.
How can anybody be better than us, please?
Best internet radio station. Best mixtape. Best fashion designer. Best comedian. Best radio DJ. Best mixtape DJ. Best lyric of the year. Best put on Yo City Award. Best put on full year Yo City Award. Okay. Best graphic designer. Best host, which would be me. Iconic Drew will argue that point.
You could be the best co-host.
Okay. I guess so. Best live performer.
Hey, at least I gave you that.
Yeah, I know. Best web series. Best spoken word artist.
It's a one for me.
Best dance group. That would be the iconic Drew and Diamondback.
We definitely dance better than anybody.
Yeah.
For sure.
We chair dance like no other, okay? That's all I'm going to say.
Well, I used to be able to boot scoot boogie and do all the line dance
all
stuff.
All the line dances?
Yeah. But you kicked me out of that bar a few times.
No, I don't think I ever kicked you out of the bar.
That's my story, and I'm sticking with the Diamondback. We didn't know each other then.
Album of the year. Best single of the year. Woo! Best videographer of the year. Hottest battle rapper. That would be the iconic Drew.
Yeah, nobody raps. I could do some Vanilla Ice.
Yeah, that's about it. That's about all I got. Best live band of the year. Best producer. Hottest booking agent. Best gospel album.
It's gonna be a long night.
Yes. Well, I mean, you know it's going to have it there. So no, they do not have best sports show. It's on here as a nomination that you can do.
I need to talk to George about that.
Yeah, we need to talk to George about that.
So George, if you're listening, add best sports show to that because you have a sports show now. Just saying. Just saying, I know you're out there listening because you listen to the show almost every week.
Yeah, and we do appreciate that, George. We do.
And we appreciate the platform.
Yeah.
Definitely.
We definitely do. WTMH
So
Radio.
this is the first annual WTMH Music Awards Show, Saturday, November 10th at 7:30 at the King's Art Complex on Mount Vernon Avenue there in Columbus, Ohio.
Sponsored by
Unplugged Magazine. And our phone number is hashtag Save the Crew, 614-781-0754. Come on, folks. We've had 2 calls tonight, same caller. But 2 calls, my bro calling in. Thank you,
Right.
Steve. I know you're not listening right now because you're asleep. Mr. I got to be awake at 3.
Iconic.
Insane is what he called me.
Yeah,
Now, I don't mind being called insane. I'm fine with that. You know what? Iconic Drew is insane. The only way, you got to be a little bit crazy to do this because it's fun. You know? So, but anyway, yeah, I think that's pretty much where all those awards are coming from. Once again, George, we need to add Best Sports Show.
We would appreciate it.
And I know
At
we're.
least give us a chance.
Chance to win something because honestly, we joked about some of these other categories, but
Yeah.
yeah, let's just say no. So that's all I'm going to say right there is just no. But yeah, this is it's a big arts complex. It's a nice place. Like I said, when I went to graduate from the Ohio Media School. This is in our commercial for the Ohio Media School is coming up during this next segment, so it's a good time for me to talk about that.
Yep.
The Ohio Media School, where I learned how to do this stuff and getting better at it and working through things. And believe me, I want comments from people. I want to know what I'm doing good, what I'm not doing good, what I can improve on. Did a couple.
We both want to.
Yeah, there was a couple of things tonight that I put into play that people had suggested to me. Hopefully, those things were noticed, and we'll see. And we can talk about that later.
Yeah.
After the show,
I'm sure
Diamondback.
there's a lot that I can improve, but I don't have the training you have on this. I am just an IT guy that loves to do what we're doing right now.
Right. So WTMH first annual WTMH Radio Music Awards Show, Saturday, November 10th at 7:30 at the King's Arts Complex, Mount Vernon Avenue here in Columbus, Ohio, home of the Ohio State Buckeyes. Once again, hashtag Save the Crew phone line, 614-781-0754. Right now, still home of the Columbus Crew. Hoping to keep them here. Once again, folks, get your butts in the seats. As far as that goes, get there. Go to the games. So, especially those of you who are diehard Crew fans, support the team. But back to the Super Bowl predictions as we wrap up this segment real quick.
Sure.
And thank you for Diamondback for bringing up the categories. And once again, George, just a little hint. Best Sports Show. Thank you. So, that would be us. So, just by default, really, I believe. So you have
If you don't put it on there, just we want to precipitation.
you have the Packers beating the Patriots.
Yes.
I have the Steelers beating the Packers, which would be an iconic Super Bowl matchup. Talking about two of the best
Just like saying the
teams,
word iconic.
pretty much. Yes, it would be an iconic Super Bowl matchup. Two of the most iconic teams in NFL history. I mean, talk about the Packers won the first 2 Super Bowls ever. The Patriots, meanwhile, the other team you have in the Super Bowl, have been involved in Super Bowls for the last 8 or 9 years now, it seems like, or close to it. And the Steelers have won 6. So we got 3 teams there in our Super Bowl connections, in our Super Bowl picks, that are all iconic teams and are all well respected throughout the league by everybody. Even if you're not a fan of that team, at the end of the day, you're like, yeah, that's a franchise that's really good. Even Big Cass would be like, yeah, I can't stand the Steelers, iconic, but they're a good football team. They're going to go further than the Bengals. He would even say it off the air. Hardly ever said it on the air because he was a homer too, just like me. But I did not get Kirk Herbstreit's NFL Super Bowl picks.
You did not.
No. I looked online today to see if Kirk Herbstreit was given NFL picks as well. He's not. He's pretty much sticking to the college football thing. That's what he's good at. That's what he's known for. That's his niche. It's absolutely fine. So he wants to stick with that niche. I get that. I respect him on that. So, no Kirk Herbstreit NFL picks. I'm sorry, folks. I wish we had them. We don't. So, anyway, looks like it's time to go ahead and play our last set of commercials here. And like I said, this first one's going to feature it's a commercial I made for the Ohio Media School. They're not a sponsor of the show yet, but we're working on that. One moment.
Hey, it's the iconic Drew.
Like this one.
You were looking for something to drag it out, and I figured that would drag it out.
So do what the iconic Drew did.
No, we're fine.
Go to the Ohio Media School.
So, Diamondback, you just mentioned you've got an idea. What's going on?
An idea. Oh my gosh, dude, you're catching me by complete shock. But no, we are definitely. I think we're going in the right direction as far as our streaming goes. We are doing the Facebook Live. We're doing the YouTube. You're starting your YouTube channel next week. So
Really?
Yes.
I get my own YouTube channel next week.
Yes.
This is huge for those of you out there who missed me being all excited about this an hour ago.
Yep.
Now you get to hear it again. It was fake both times. I knew it both times, and that's okay. I'm excited about having my own YouTube channel, the Iconic Drew YouTube channel. Check that out. That's going to be exciting, folks. That will be cool. So, yeah, I thought you said you had something to drag things out with. That's what I meant.
No.
Hashtag save the crew, 614-781-0754. We'll still take calls at this point, and we'll be right back with the conclusion of the show.
No, I was talking about you wanted to drag it out, and I have that the WTNH nominations.
Oh, okay.
I just figured that would, and two, we're talking about it. Since we didn't do it since we didn't catch this the first hour.
Yeah, we've made up for it.
We're making up for it.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the Ferocious Money Productions of the Iconic Drew and Diamondback Sports Opinion Show. Well, Diamondback, it's my least favorite part of the show.
Really?
Yeah, well, we've come to the conclusion once again, and that means we're done until next Wednesday. We're off the air until next Wednesday. When are we on the air next week?
Wednesday, 7 p.m. to 10 p.m.
Really?
Or
Okay.
10 p.m. God bless.
7 p.m. to 10 p.m. And once again, that phone number, hashtag save the crew, 614-781-0754. We'll still take calls at this point. Last week, we actually popped back on the air. Don't tell Laura. We actually popped back on the air for 2 seconds while she called in.
Yeah, she and then, of course, she just hung up.
Right.
And,
she said, is Diamondback still there? And I'm like, and I didn't recognize her voice, and I'm like, whoa. I hope Laura doesn't know about this because Diamondback's got a female admirer out there.
Yeah,
so
it happens to be Laura.
Happens to be your fiance.
Yes.
So, that's a good thing that it was her.
Yes, it was a good thing.
You know.
Yeah, because
gotta
she
keep
does
that-
listen to the show. She's not listening tonight, but she.
I think Carrie's gone to sleep.
She's decided that getting ready for dress shopping this weekend was more important, so she went out and got a pedicure and a manicure with her friends, with her bridesmaids.
Well, good for her.
A couple of bridesmaids. So I'm like go for it, have some fun, get a little bit of relaxation in.
Yeah.
Because then she's going to be throwing elbows this Saturday down in Cincinnati.
Well, what's she going to be? Well, let's talk about that. What are your weekend plans?
My weekend plans, I'm actually going to be in my flower bed this weekend. I'm going to be mowing my lawn again this weekend, as well as my neighbor's yard because unfortunately they're not able to stay there after their fire. Once again, as I stated, my thoughts and prayers go out to that family as they cope with this devastation in their life.
Absolutely. It's horrible. And once again, like I said before, the real heroes showed up, the firemen. We talk sports all night, folks. We give opinions on sports and we have a fun time doing it, but they're not the heroes. The real heroes are in the military, the police, and the firemen. And I'll add in, as tough a job as it is, I know my brother does it on a daily basis. Those guys, I wouldn't say they're necessarily heroes, but they're essential to our livelihood here in America, truck drivers.
Without them, we don't have groceries in the grocery
Yeah,
store. We
exactly.
have to be hunters and gatherers, just like
Yeah.
you know.
Instead of hunting and gathering at your local Kroger, you're going to go out and do that.
Speaking of throwing elbows,
right? People right throwing elbows.
That's my
definitely.
steak. Oh, bam.
So my plans for the weekend, of course, I'm going to spend a lot of time with Carrie, but I have my kids this weekend too. So they're in various age groups now, of course, 16, 13, and 8. So they're going in 3 different directions at the same time, which makes Dad's Taxi fun. Won't really see my daughter until Sunday. I'll see my boys Friday night and kind of take it from there.
And you said your boy's 13 now. Your oldest boy is
my oldest boy's 13 now. Yeah, he's in 8th grade.
How old is Braden?
Braden's 8.
8. My God, it's been 8
Braden
years.
is 8. Yeah, I know, it's incredible,
Wow.
isn't it? Doesn't feel like it, but Braden is 8. Can we do it? Anyway,
10 years and counting down.
10 years and counting down. Yes. Anyway, that's kind of rude, but it's true. So I'm going to say it one more time: the WTMH Radio Music Awards show. That's going to be Saturday, November 10th at 7:30, King Arts Complex, Columbus, Ohio. Red carpet at 6. Yes, Iconic Drew will be wearing a tie that night. We're going to show up once again. We need to get you all to nominate for us. Go to www.wtmhradiomusicawards.com, and those nomination periods end on Sunday, September the 30th. So you got a few weeks to get those in there. Just do it while you're watching some football. Sit back and relax. Diamondback, we haven't really talked about what we would talk about next week, so we can't really tease next week at this point.
No, we have. We actually are caught up with our future plans with and which is sad.
In some ways, yes, it is. But we'll move on to some good topics. I'm sure that everything's going to be fine. We might have a new sponsor next week.
Awesome.
By next week, and that would be awesome. And so, also, I'll say Circle K. I'm
still working on that one.
But we will have a good topic for next week, I'm sure, for us to debate. We will have the Diamondback rant. Next week, I'm putting him on the spot, folks. Next week, he's bringing us into that segment. He's going to do it.
I'm going to try.
It's going to be good. I know Diamondback can do it. So, it'll be the one time when the Iconic Drew will not introduce the segment. We'll see if he's ready. If he's not, I'll do it again. So, we'll have the Iconic Drew rant as well. What's that phone number again, Diamondback?
That is 614-781-0754. Hashtag Save the Crew.
Hashtag Save the Crew. 614-781-0754. The only person who knew the number tonight was my brother. He called in twice. Wants to tell us his opinion on Urban Meyer, and the other one just to talk about the show and the fact that he was listening. That was cool. So, and it was not kind of nice to hear from Steve. So anyway, like I said, hashtag Save the Crew, phone line 614-781-0754. When you give us a call, we're about ready to go off the air here, but of course we'll come back, Laura. And
she's actually
take
chimed
a
in
call
on my YouTube.
Oh,
Live.
she's in now.
So she is in from her lovely pampering and.
Yeah, well, you know, she's about to get married to you, so she needs as much pampering as she can get. So, no, I mean that in a good way. I mean, I'm happy for her. I'm happy for you. I'm happy for her. You guys make a cute couple. And I'm glad that you two found each other. It's awesome.
Yeah.
So.
Thank you, Columbus City Schools.
Right. Thank you to the Columbus City Schools for that. For that little love connection. We'll be back in 2 and 2. Anyway, you remember the original show. That's what I'm referring to. So just to summarize tonight's show, we talked about Urban Meyer for a minute. We talked about the fact that they met all day today. They haven't come out with their ruling on this yet, their recommendation to the president. He's going to decide from there, President Drake. Talked about who Meat Chicken named as their quarterback for the season. We talked about West Virginia going through a disease, hand, foot, and mouth. We talked about them having 5 players out and having to cancel Fan Day. Sucks for their fans. We gave our Super Bowl predictions. I have the Packers losing to the Pittsburgh Steelers in the Super Bowl. I know, Steve, big shock. And then Diamondback has the Packers beating the Patriots. We gave our Final Four in college football as well. And Diamondback has Alabama, Clemson, Wisconsin, and Ohio State. I have Ohio State, Alabama, Notre Dame. No, I don't have Notre Dame. I'm kidding. I have Ohio State, Alabama, Clemson, and Washington. I thought about putting Notre Dame in, but after last week's independent rant, I decided not to. And I don't think they're good enough. And I think they need to fire their coach. That's another thing we need to talk about sometime.
All right.
Anyway, not a big fan of Brian Kelly. Sorry. So, anyway, this has been the iconic Drew and Diamondback Sports Opinion Show, brought to you here under the Ferocious Money Productions on WTMH Radio, which is sponsored by Unplugged Magazine. Once again, folks, remember the WTMH Radio Music Awards show, Saturday, November 10th at 7:30 p.m. Yes, Diamondback.
All right, real quick here, actually, I just had it come up here. Ohio State coach Urban Meyer suspended and prohibited coaching in the first 3 games.
Oh, it's come out. It's come out. So folks, we know, first 3 games.
First 3 games. After the 2-week investigation found Urban Meyer and others mishandled domestic assault accusations made against former assistant coach Zach Smith. Meyer is also suspended without pay from the program from September 2nd. He can rejoin the program after that, but will not be allowed to coach the team games against Oregon State, Rutgers, and number 16 TCU.
Okay, so the ruling has come in.
Yep.
That's exciting. I mean, it's not exciting, but it's the news we've been waiting to hear. So he is out for the first 3 games.
Also, OSU Athletic Director Gene Smith has also been suspended without pay from August 31st until September 16th.
Okay.
So, although neither Urban Meyer nor Gene Smith condoned or covered up the alleged domestic abuse by Zach Smith, they failed to take sufficient management actions relating to Zach Smith. So misconduct and retaining the assistant coach who was not performing as the appropriate role model for OSU.
Wow. Okay, so the ruling is in, and it affects Gene Smith as well.
I think Gene Smith is getting a smack on the hand. I think after Tattoogate and this, I think he should have been gone with Tattoogate.
Well, I agree with that. I said that back then.
Yeah, and as I said, this is coming from an Alabama fan. I don't know why Ohio State is hanging on to Gene Smith. The one thing I do like about your president, what was his name again?
President Drake.
Drake. He is actually he's known for not being so homer about the football team. It's not about the football team. It is about the university.
Which is the way it should be.
And that's the way it should be for his job. It's about Gene Smith and the athletics, so he should be worried about the football team.
Yes.
But I really believe that Gene Smith should be gone.
Is this the recommendation of the committee, or is this President Drake saying this is the way this is what I want?
President Drake, but it has not mentioned anything here in this article that I'm reading. I'm just like trying to find some points to read here.
Because it sounds like this is the recommendation. So President Drake still needs to make the decision.
Meyer apologized. There's a clipping. Of course, I'm going to go ahead and plug it. It's ESPN.com.
Right.
Go there to get this article that I'm reading. This is the actual what I'm reading here on here. So this is the this looks like this is the recommendation from the panel, as well as the ruling of the President Drake there at the Ohio State University.
Okay, so in other words, we've gone to that step already.
So yeah. I mean, I'm assuming, and understand, I'm trying to read this and speak at the same time.
Oh yeah, I know.
I'm just kind of like glimpsing over. So I'm assuming this is what President Drake has come out with. Once again, I'm going to go back over. In my opinion, he did not do anything wrong in Title IX. There was no incidents against Title IX. I think this just comes back down to Urban Meyer knew of Zach Smith's domestic violence tendencies. Not that anything has ever been charged with him on this, but he is being charged, of course, with criminal trespass, which is the restraining order that his former wife, Courtney, thank you, Smith had placed on him, and that's what is the accusation against him.
Do you think that this is we might as well talk about this for a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
Do you think this is to appease the national media and fans of other teams, and maybe be like, we're going to go middle of the road here, we're going to suspend them for a few games without pay to show that at Ohio State we're serious about these accusations and that we want to show that we are taking this very serious? Or do you think it's just based on the findings?
I think this is just based off the findings. As I said, he expresses his remorse here. I'm just reading this here real quick. After receiving the 3-game suspension for mishandling the domestic and assault allegations against the former assistant. So, I mean, he's obviously saying, okay, I knew of the problem and I should have let him go back then, or I should have suspended him back then and started an investigation back then. And
right.
This criminal trespass would not be a part of this here. So, it's going to be interesting to see. You had your brother said that he doesn't think that Urban Meyer will come back after a suspension. I think it was him that said that.
Yes, and I've heard others say that too.
I don't. He is a Buckeye through and through. He has a love for this team here. So this is actually very interesting of news. So yes, it was a 3-game suspension. So
and that's without pay.
Without.
So
pay.
this is huge.
Yeah, huge. I hope Ohio State takes his pay and Gene Smith's pay during that time. I don't see it here, but this is what I'm hoping they do, and they put it towards domestic violence victims.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that would be awesome.
That'd be a great donation. You already said you was going to pay this money out to them for this. Let's put that to some good use.
Yeah.
And it would be good to see Urban Meyer and them to go ahead and take the suspension, and then take the money out of their own pay and match. It would be nice to see them do that, but I'm not saying that they have to do that. It would just be like, and it would be an extra step to redemption for them.
Mm-hmm. Right. And I mean, I think too, I know I just asked you a moment ago if you thought that maybe Ohio State was trying to save face a little bit with the national media and with programs around the country. Because, I mean, let's be honest, SEC country, they were calling for his hit.
Well, and that's the thing. I mean,
so are they going to be appeased with a 3-game suspension?
No, no fan of Alabama, no fan of Auburn, no fan of Texas, no fan of Oregon is going to be appeased by this. They're going to be like, well, he was found guilty, he should be, lose his job. Well, that's come from a fan's perspective of being a homer. I'm sorry, I'm going to flat out call them out on that. They're being a homer, and they're not looking at what he is found guilty for. He did nothing wrong against Title IX.
Right.
This is all against him for just mishandling the overall. When he knew there was accusations of domestic violence, he should have done something. Hey, we're going to suspend you until we figure out what's going on. If we find truth to this, then we're going to go ahead and go from there. whether they fired him or whatever at that moment. I think if they would have done something like that, he would not be in the bucket he is in now.
Well, yeah, obviously. I mean, it all comes down to how much of a cover-up there was, what they talked about, what they found out from all these witnesses, and everything that fell into place as far as all that goes. But I think that in some ways Ohio State is trying to appease the media, the national media, and the rest of the country as well. Because the rest of the country is looking at Ohio State and going, here we go again. There's another tattoo gate. There's another type of thing, and this was not even as big as Tattoo Gate.
No, this is not as bad.
Don't get me wrong. I still feel like Tressel fell on the sword.
I do too. That's the reason
and protected Gene Smith.
Yeah, and I don't see how President Drake of the Ohio State University can actually keep him on after this being a second offense for Gene. But hey, that's their findings. I'm not President Drake. So I cannot, and he knows more a little bit than I do. All I know is what I read in the media, and that's whatever information they want to give to the media. What was that? I'm trying to figure out. Meyer has a salary of $7.6 million for 2018 and is under contract through 2022. So it'll be interesting to see if he actually does come back on his own, meaning after the suspension. But I think he will. Your brother doesn't think he will. So we'll see how this plays out. Yeah,
well, this is one case where me and Steve do disagree with each other. I do feel like, and I told him when he called in, I feel like Meyer's going to take the suspension and come back. And first of all, like you said, he's a Buckeye through and through. That's number one. He was on his, for one of his first coaching jobs was on Earl Bruce's staff here at Ohio State. And then he went on to coach at Bowling Green in Utah and Florida before he came here. So the fact that Urban Meyer is a Buckeye through and through and believes in the program, and not only that, when he looks at the roster of this team, he's got to be excited about coaching this team.
Yeah,
because they are stacked. And I'm not just saying that as a complete homer. This team is stacked this year. They got some serious talent. So you want to coach a team like that, It'd be interesting to see how the fallout from all of this. Of course, it's going to definitely be discussed a lot tomorrow in the media, and we can certainly, do a recap of that next week as part of this show, and also the fact that all the fallout will be out to us at that point. We'll know everything.
Yes.
By that point.
Yeah, we should.
And and I'm sure we'll have more comments from Meyer, Coach Meyer, and from Gene Smith. And they'll talk more about whether they're going to come back or not and what they're thinking.
This actually, I really think this should put a scare on you guys, depending on this. Yes, granted, you're playing Oregon State. You should still win that without the coach.
TCU game scares me.
Rutgers, you should win. It's a conference game. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah,
I'm not throwing it too much, but you still should win it.
But it's Rutgers.
But it's Rutgers. I love their name, by the way, Scarlet Knights. I love the name. It's just awesome. And then you got the third game against number 16 TCU.
Yeah,
that should frighten you.
That game scares me with Urban Meyer on the sideline.
Right. Well, he's not on the sideline.
Right.
He's going to be sitting at home watching it.
Yes, like the rest of us.
So that one actually opens the door for a first loss.
Mm-hmm.
And you mentioned you're at Michigan State, you're at Penn State.
Yeah.
And then of course you got Michigan at home, and that side of your conference.
Oh yeah.
That's the scary part about that.
The East side is no joke.
Yeah. Unlike
the Big Ten.
Unlike the SEC East, you guys are the Big Ten East, and that's where the teams are. Unfortunately, yes, Wisconsin. You got the West that has Wisconsin, and you have Nebraska, which you should have Nebraska, and I hope to see Nebraska there. But that's pretty much that's out there in the West.
Yeah. So once again, I mean that TCU game scares me even with Urban Meyer on the sideline, because they're calling it a non-home game. Well, the game's in Dallas. TCU's pretty close to there, so it's pretty much a home game for them. And then we don't have our coach, so don't get me wrong. I do think that. I mean, I still feel confident about the Buckeyes, but the fact is that TCU, they can throw the ball all over the place. So we'll see what happens.
TCU is not a joke.
No, they're not.
It was a great pickup for the Big 12 or Big 12. Yeah, Big 12. Woo!
Yes.
I'm having issues all night tonight.
So let's go ahead and wrap things up. We just got the news on Gene Smith and Urban Meyer. Of course, we'll talk about that more next week and in the upcoming weeks. If anybody still wants to call in, we'll go back on the air and discuss it, but we're going to sign off for the night. We are at hashtag Save the Crew 614-781-0754. In case you missed it, Urban Meyer's been given a 3-game suspension and without pay, and Gene Smith is also off for that same time period without pay.
That's what appears, yes, the same period.
So it appears to be that same time period, which would make sense. So we do want to invite you all to come back next week. We'll have more important topics to talk about, more opinions to give, rants to do, all kinds of fun stuff coming up. College football kicks off a couple days. Well, it kicks off this weekend, but it really kicks off right after our show next week. So, sure, we'll talk about college football again as far as that is concerned. But we do want to, once again, thank you all for tuning in tonight on whatever medium you used.
Well, you used WTMH Radio YouTube, WTMHradio.com, sponsored by Unplugged Magazine, as well as our personal Facebook pages, and LMS DiAmOnDbAcK is my YouTube page. And next week we'll have the iconic Drew on YouTube, which is very exciting news. And I'll say the phone number one more time, hashtag Save the Crew 614-781-0754. We're still here. We'll be here for a while. So if you want to call in and give us your opinion on the Urban Meyer situation and anything else we talked about, we'll go back on the air and talk about it, because, there's no show. There's no show after us. So we can do that. Right. We have that right, or that ability to do that, I should say. So we're going to go ahead and sign off for now. This has been the Ferocious Bunny Productions of the iconic Drew and Diamondback Sports Opinion Show. And as always, enjoy. Go Bucks, roll Tide, go Irish, go Steelers. Roll Tide. I'm stopping the broadcast here. I lost this feed over here, so I need you to get that back for me. Move the mouse real quick. Tap the mouse as you move it. It should, and I see blue. All right. Did it come out? Yeah, there we go. All right. So, Facebook world, YouTube world, I gotta go. Do appreciate you guys chiming in. Everybody that has watched, everybody that is. Everybody walk with me. I won't take you in there with me, but walk with me. There goes just want to say good night. I do appreciate everybody that has supported us. Laura, love you. You chime in, even you at least look in once or twice, and I do appreciate that. Facebook, I am going to be leaving you not next week, but the following week. I will probably not be live on Facebook. I'm going to be live on YouTube only. Reason is actually trying to bring my viewers over. Remember, it is Wednesday nights, 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. And the only reason we went over today is because of the news with Urban Meyer, 3-game suspension. Gene Smith getting a suspension as well. So that's actually big news. And of course, both those suspensions is without pay. Once again, I hope to see, since the news media, since the Ohio State is already planning on paying that money out, go ahead and donating that to a worthwhile cause of against domestic violence, to help out victims of domestic violence. So let's see if we can at least do that and actually get them thinking about doing something like that. That would just be a nice addition to that. Hate to see Urban, if he did decide to leave over this 3-game suspension. Hopefully he doesn't. I don't think he will. So we'll go from there. Thank you for tuning in once again. I am the Diamondback, and I am signing out. For Iconic Drew on the YouTube page, I'm sure he says farewell. Enjoy, gentlemen and ladies. Thank you all for tuning in.